Good afternoon. It is 2:59. I'm Joseph Bono live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Brian Callahan and several players met with the media earlier today discussing Titans post-draft and right before offseason workouts begin. Chig Okonkwo, one of the players that spoke to the media, talked about turning the page after a poor 2024 season.
I mean, I think we're in a unique spot. Like I said, having the number one pick, I feel like the excitement here is more so than everything that happened in the past, and we're just all ready to forget about it and move on. So for us, it's really just more so looking towards the future because that's, everything we're doing in the building right now is geared towards that. Today is the deadline to pick up the fifth-year options on the 2022 first-rounders. The Titans not expected to pick up Treylon Burks' option, as mentioned by Chad Brinker earlier this week. Fire Foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Thursday. We're almost there, man. Weekend is here.
Getting close.
There he is. He's Ron Slay.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. Car ain't got no roof.
Ooh, what?
I got something new, y'all.
Before you get to something new, Dawn Davenport not here. She will be back on Monday. She's on the beach.
Lollygagging on not lollygagging. Playing beach volleyball 2 versus 2.
Is she playing?
2v2.
She played.
She played.
Dude.
She called herself the weakest link.
But no, I thought that was somebody else that was calling themselves.
Oh, someone else called herself?
So.
Was it someone else's story?
Yeah, on top of her story.
Got it.
Anytime it comes up, like you doing anything basketball-wise,
I can't
she says, don't do it. You're going to tear your whatever.
Achilles, knee, calf, quad.
Now she's out there doing that?
I can't wait till she get back. I'm going to let her have it. And I mean, she out there trying to move. She put it on her story and it kind of slid by. But she's out there like digging, setting,
digging, like Dale Jr.
Dude, like they diving for balls and things out there. I'm like, Babsy, okay. I can't wait, boy.
See, that's why I quit playing. I used to play church softball with my buddy Ken Newton and his group. But my problem is I can't help it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just don't turn on.
So when I was a baseball player, I loved playing defense and try to get a ball by me in the middle of the infield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you going out.
So we're playing church softball and nobody's doing that, but I'm diving for everything. And I was like, the only way for me to not get hurt is to quit because it's gonna happen.
Listen, dog. I heard
it's the competitiveness.
That's it. So when I was on Martin and McGee that day, we had a chance to talk to Danny Hamlin, and we were talking to him about his hoop stories and does MJ ever get down there and come
I turned it on after that. How was Denny Hamlin? Because, I know people that love NASCAR, that's their favorite driver.
Yeah.
We had him on the show, and it was very difficult to get anything out of him. Yes.
I thought I was.
Yeah.
I thought because
he was a tough nut to crack, man.
Okay, so when they set it up, I was looking like, man, dude, I feel like I've talked to him before. And lo and behold, yes, you're absolutely right. So, yeah.
Listen,
but
man.
he was different. But this is the road we went down.
I need a position within the framework of
Slay Ride Enterprises.
Ron Slay Enterprises, yes.
No, just Slay Ride. We'll say Ron. Yeah, we'll say Ron Slay.
Yeah.
No, but this is so we went down the basketball route and talking about Jordan since he was on with him and started talking about hoop. And I was, giving him some hell about, getting his shot together, So we asked about Jordan. Does Jordan do any hooping with you? And he was like, man, Mike said, I can't go out there. And Mike is like my buddy. Mike said, he can't go out there.
You ever met him?
Once.
One
Not when I should have met him.
What does that mean?
I should have met him when I was at the University of Tennessee playing under his best man in his wedding, his best friend, Buzz.
When he got the job, that was his storyline. Everybody talked about that. That was so funny.
But
yes, that's true.
Yeah, we were like, does Jordan hoop with you guys? He was like, nah. He always says, there's no way I can get out there because at some point, I'm going to take it seriously. and then my body is not built to take it
Well, and
seriously
guys like you, and him, and
yeah,
Slay and Jordan, like,
we're in the GOAT conversation.
Guys like y'all, you got to watch who you play with too.
Yes,
Right.
Yep.
It's not like back in the day you could go over to the Y where lunch pail hero guy is out there busting his ass while y'all were like,
yeah,
hey man, let's get a workout.
Yeah, we
in.
just trying to get a sweat, dog. That don't work no more.
I played a pickup game one time at UT, and man, I forget this guy's name. He was on the track and field team, went to the Olympics. This was back in the 90s. I'll remember his name at some point. Maybe one of y'all will. But anyway, we get in the game together, and I wasn't trying to do anything, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not skilled enough to play to the level that like professional athletes, let's say, need to do it.
Yeah.
And so he was just trying to get a workout in and get loose and all this stuff. I accidentally tripped him.
Oh, come on, you.
And he's getting ready to go to the Olympics.
Come on, you.
And like, he went head over heels on the court. And I was like, he ran up in my face so fast, dude. I thought I was about to get knocked into
like, what are you doing, though?
Yeah. But he stopped, and he just kind of looked at me, and he was like, he took like a couple deep breaths, and he said, I know you didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not athletic.
Like, you understand the situation.
What are you doing in this game?
Yeah, I know you wasn't trying to do that, brother.
I can shoot some threes.
I can let it fly.
Gosh, who was that guy? Anyway, yeah, he went to the Olympics. Like, he was a big track athlete in the 90s at Tennessee.
I did have a announcement too, though.
I get that. Yes, you do have an announcement. Zeph Dog, he's got an announcement.
I got an announcement.
Slay's got an announcement. So
ladies and gentlemen,
so regal,
boys and girls. Yes, when I come through, I come through.
Yeah, it's like you're King Slay.
The trumpets have to play.
It's like you're standing on the veranda.
That's exactly what it is.
Addressing all the people below you.
I need a scroll.
I can hold the scroll.
Yeah, so I can read it. Like,
yeah.
So the people know I'm here. So that means gather around when you hear those horns. Hit them horns one more time for himself, so the people know to gather around.
Friends,
like,
Romans, countrymen.
Yeah, like everybody. Yeah. Near and far.
Lend me your ears.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Let's see him hit it again.
Hit it again. Whoa. Wait, we got derailed again.
This is another outside announcement.
Greg Cosell is in the control room. That's an announcement.
That's what happens when the horns play.
All right, Zeph, do it again.
People come from everywhere. Who knew Cosell would come when the announcement horns were played like that?
I love it.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather around because Big Slay has an announcement. This is to my transit community. Listen.
Your what community?
Transit.
Oh, transit.
Yeah, if you're not driving, just don't riding a bike or skateboarding or rollerblading or on the little scooter birds or whatever they are, or if you're not on the Woo Girls bus, I think I got all of them covered.
Pedal Tavern.
Pedal Tavern is like
the hot tub bus.
Yeah, hot tub bus with water spilling out. It's a little murky.
Yeah.
But this doesn't pertain to you. But anybody that's in transit, listen, Nashville, we got to do a better job. And I'm putting it on.
A better job at what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Better job at describing what you should be doing. So directions should be a part.
I'm still here.
You're still right there. You're still waiting on an angel.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is my problem, Yor.
Okay, what's your problem, Slay?
When the roundabouts are put in.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the one down here, which direction? Right down here by coming from the convention center.
Yeah.
That one right there with the little flags.
Yeah. The Korean vets.
Yeah, because it's two lanes where you can pull into.
The one with all the flags.
No, yeah, the people, the naked people, that's cool because that's only really one lane.
Do you know how the people became naked?
No, why?
They weren't naked to begin with.
What'd they do? Took the clothes off?
Don Davenport went around the roundabout once, and it knocked all the clothes off.
That makes sense.
She goes so fast.
See, but that's one lane. So that's cool.
Nashville history.
This is it. Yeah.
All right, so the other one with the flags.
The other one with the flags.
Yeah.
It's two lanes.
That's a tough one.
But the problem is people don't know when people are merging because the directions of it are not great. So when you're coming from the convention center, you're trying to come around to get on 8th Avenue. It's two lanes, which you merge into one, and another one is about to turn. But the people coming into that lane really don't understand that you're supposed to yield and wait on them.
If you're coming from 8th Avenue South, for example, you're supposed to, if you're in the inside lane, you get off at the first or the second.
Yes. The problem is Rosa Parks entering.
If you go in the outside lane, you stay straight like you're going downtown toward
exactly Rosa Parks. You turn on the
Marriott.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So the people coming off Rosa Parks are the problem.
Okay.
Like they don't like is, and I get it because I looked at it today and was like, like this don't really make sense for them. Like they should be coming in one at a time instead of two. Because by the time you get there, you think you can just merge in and just create where you want to go. They already have it arrowed up to where only the right can go straight.
I think they should have like these huge jumbotrons out there with videos of people doing it correctly. So as you come up, like you see instead of like look at signs or they're not even signs. They're on the street.
Out there. And they put people out there.
People out there.
Yep. At least for a week.
Here's the other thing. Have you ever driven in Mexico? They've got roundabouts all over the place in Mexico. See, no one stops. No one stops.
Yeah, they just time it great.
You don't stop going to the roundabout. The people on the roundabout slow their speed to allow you in because they see you coming.
Look, see, Justin Brinkley in the chat. Literally just happened to me about 20 minutes ago. This is stupid. Listen, I'm telling you, you grow. I got used to it. I know how they are because I was in Europe for 14 years.
Same thing in Europe, probably. They don't stop there either, do they?
But it's so set up the correct way.
But here on the roundabouts, everybody stops.
Yes, which causes a problem because
even the naked people one, everybody stops up there.
You playing double dutch,
right? And then there's a crosswalk too. So then you got to watch for people crossing.
It's wild.
When I went to Aruba, the roundabouts in Aruba were crazy. I mean, people were just.
This is what I'm saying.
Well, each roundabout was like 3 lanes.
See,
and it was like, and like some people had to try to get to the middle lane and then to the far inside lane, and like people don't stop. Kind of like in Mexico, like people just were going through.
That's how the roundabout in Paris is. You just got to get in there and hope you don't get sucked into the middle because you'll never get back out.
And when we drove around, we drove around in like
European vacation. Big Ben Parliament.
That's it.
He couldn't get off the roundabout.
I'm telling you, that's how it gets.
Look, kids, Big Ben Parliament. He said it like 10 times.
We drove around in like side by sides, like we did like an island tour and like a side by side, and we had to drive like on the roads and stuff in some areas, and I was sitting here like, what if I get lost? Like, what if I get stuck? Because I'm used to driving like here where you go to a roundabout, you slow down and stop. And I got like 4 or 5 cars behind our group at one point.
I'm so good at roundabouts now. I get mad when people don't go.
That's like, telling you.
It's honestly, and here's the other thing on roundabouts: people don't use their turn signals.
Nope.
So you have to kind of use the spidey sense to know if they're actually exiting before you can go. But
I wonder how many accidents. Now I haven't seen the accidents at the roundabout because I'm going through, but I wonder how many accidents happen because
I've never seen one either. But you would think that
it's got to be some,
and it would jack everything up.
Shut it down. Shut it
down. Yeah.
Well, that's my announcement, York.
That's your announcement?
Yep, for the transit community. I just came through the roundabout, and a guy was about to pull out, and he was wrong. And it wasn't even in front of me. It was in front of somebody else, and he was wrong. The person in front of me was right. And he was about to merge in, and he was like getting upset that this guy kept going. He's supposed to keep, if you're in the roundabout, you're supposed to keep going until you find your exit.
Let me ask you a question, and I have no idea the answer to this. Were you going to Raising Cane's?
No, this time I was coming from Boswell. Shout out to my guy Braden and Tony.
Okay.
Yeah, I was coming straight from down Murfreesboro Road.
Every once in a while, you'll throw it down there.
Oh yes, I like it down. I like the downtown Raising Cane's. Yeah, that's the one. I like that one in 3 in the morning or 3 in the evening.
They're quick over there.
So rapid fire.
I did that coming back from the game that I saw you. I went and hung out with you and Seawood.
Yep. I did it coming out of Aldean's.
You were in Aldean's?
Yeah. I'm in some wild places.
No kidding.
You can catch me anywhere, though.
Did you throw a chair off the roof?
No, but that rooftop is high.
It's high.
I see why a chair could come off there because you forget you're on the rooftop.
During the draft, I ended up on the top of that building with Blair Durham. I was like, I just happened to stand next to him. I'm like, Blair, what's up?
Everybody's up there.
Yeah.
Always on the roof.
All right, Greg Cosell is here. Ross went and got him from the airport, which there's got to be a story there. But from what I heard, Ross was going to take him to the hotel so he could check in and get settled, and then he would come back and hop on live in studio today.
Okay.
At like 4 o'clock, but we may get him earlier, it looks like.
Sounds good to me. We'll be over there in Bab's chair.
Absolutely. Lots of Titans info for you today. Also, coming up tomorrow, the live taping of The Install with Greg Cosell, hosted by Buck Rising tomorrow night in the Analog at the Hutton Hotel. Cosell will break down the Titans draft picks with an assist from Titans head coach Brian Callahan, who is bringing plays from draft picks that he wants to analyze. There are just a few tickets left. 1045thezone.com. What do you got?
Hey, man, listen, for all my real Nashville natives that understand what Dickerson Road is, which
Could
is
you
really
imagine if they
Dickerson
put a
Pike.
roundabout anywhere near us in like 1995 in this town?
Where everybody
We'd be
would
like,
been,
what the hell is
everybody
that?
would still been sitting there.
That and we'd
down.
avoid it. Like,
But hey, Captain Tripp just said shout out Murfreesboro Road. Yeah, if you Murfreesboro Road, Dickerson Road, Nolensville Road, which are probably Nolensville Pike, Dickerson Pike.
it is Dickerson Pike.
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
it's like those are legendary streets in Nashville. You just ride them. So that was
Dickerson
funny.
Pike has the weird buffalo statues over
Yeah.
there. Like, I don't know what that's about.
People wonder why you're on them streets.
Like, ever?
Anytime.
3HL 1045 the Zone. How about Rosa Parks just taking strays today on 3HL? That's amazing. Brentwood Jewelry, for more than 50 years, Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community with exceptional style and exceptional deals every day. As a family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations, they're deeply rooted in this community, from Salem service in the Special Forces. I'm sure he can get around a roundabout correctly. To his son serving as local firefighters. The Amamerly family dedicated to giving back in a time that is imperative to support local. Shop Brentwood Jewelry. Local. Brentwood Jewelry here to help you pop the question as well if you're thinking about doing that. Let my guys at Brentwood Jewelry help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. Browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings, or talk with their custom design specialist to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. Incredible watch selection, anything you need jewelry-wise. Mother's Day obviously coming up. Great opportunity for you to go get to know the Amamerly family. 7012 Church Street, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Ready to win Mother's Day? Your reputation as the best gift giver in the family. How about this? Give the moms in your life an Aura digital picture frame preloaded with decades of family photos. That's what Grandma and both grandmas actually are getting this year. It is awesome. Named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter and super easy to set up. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. Limited time listeners, save on the perfect gift. Visit auraframes.com. Get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.com. Use promo code ZONE. Terms and conditions apply.
Good idea. Let's not do the Titan stuff.
Should I even ask?
Just hang on. Keep it going. There's a reason for this. Right here. What's today?
That's gotta
It's
be
gonna
May.
be May.
Like, dog.
It's
why-
May
Never heard
1st.
that, Slay?
Yes, only on our show.
So I saw Timberlake
I know
talking
the
about.
song, but
I saw Timberlake talking about how that happened. How the me turned into more of a May. Like it's going to be May.
it's Memphis.
The writers of the song were Norwegian or Swedish or Scandinavian in some way, and the way they said May was May. And so, like when he first sang the song, he said it straight up. Me, it's going to be me.
It was like, no.
And they're like, no. You gotta say May, May.
Gotta be May.
And so it turned into a thing, and so now it's May 1st.
Well, that kind of
There you go.
goes with his Memphis roots too, though, because they say
What,
Maine.
Norwegian?
Yeah,
Oh, Maine.
with the Maine all the time. Maine, you know what I mean?
You do that every once in a while. You pull out the Memphis in you.
Yeah, it'll sneak out. It'll sneak out every now and then, but yeah. Memphis born, Nashville raised and bred. A little bit of Chattanooga sprinkled in too.
So,
Tennessee mutt is what you get.
You grew
That's
up
right.
in Memphis?
Born in Memphis.
Oh,
so
oh.
my pop's side of the family is from West Tennessee. My
Oh,
mom's
okay.
side of the family is from Chattanooga.
so Ramon
East
grew
Tennessee.
up in West Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Interesting.
So
Okay,
Ramon
man.
and Slay have the same daddy.
I've never been to Memphis.
oh yeah, you
Well.
just be cool. You good right here.
So
No need. I ain't going back either, Cosell. Everybody's trying to escape. I promise.
U.S. News and World Report just did a survey, and Memphis was the deadliest city, most violent city in America.
Is
And
that
Slay was
true?
like, and Slay was like, yeah, every year. So I said, hey, Zeph, look back to last year, and it was Memphis last year, too.
I don't know what they were waiting on. What took the announcement? They could have just called me. I would have told them, Cosell. Oh, yeah, the most dangerous city is Memphis.
Greg Cosell
So
in,
is Beale
studio.
Street still a destination for people?
It is, but it's a
But it's
little
not like
dicey. It ain't like it used to be.
Head on swivel. But
Ain't like it used to
Hey,
be.
you can get some great food down
No.
there, and you can have
still
a
have
great
a good time. It's
Yep.
just it's certain, man. It ain't like it used to be.
Because that's
That's
the
all.
famous street, obviously.
No question. And
Yeah.
it's still famous. It's just,
Right.
and nanny. It's a shame. I'm telling you.
Also go with the right people.
My schoolmate, Paul Young, is the mayor down there now.
Schoolmate.
Yeah, I didn't know how to say. I didn't
Paul
know.
Young, who was in KISS. You keep bringing up KISS members.
Hey, but they need to kiss the crime away down there.
So during the break, Greg Cosell in studio. During the break, Slay was trying to cut a spot, and I explained to people when you were out, the day you were out. When was that? Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, we can do live commercials. You guys hear us do live commercials, and we might flub a thing or two, but like we covered up or whatever.
keep
Like
going.
we just do it.
Yeah.
It's like walking the trapeze.
Yeah.
You know,
You better without the net.
during breaks when you know you're being recorded, there's something inside you that knows on some level that you can make mistakes,
Yep.
and you do.
Right,
And so
right.
then it becomes a
it.
frustrating thing. And so we played this when you were out, Slay. This was an outtake when Slay was trying to cut a commercial that was supposed to be 30 seconds long. So we'll get the script, and it'll, like, when the sales rep writes out the script,
Yeah.
if they do, sometimes we do it, or there are bullet points. But when they write a script out, it says, like, length 30, estimated length 34.7. So at that point, we know we got to be fast, right? And so, like, y'all can hear those. But Slay was trying to make this into a 30-second commercial, but the copy was too long. And so he's having trouble cutting it, and this is what happened.
There's no way. There's no way. Ain't no way. I mean, there ain't no way. It ain't no way. It ain't no way. Like, this is crazy. It was crazy.
And Slay never says the F word. Like, hardly ever says the F
No,
word.
that had to be like my 10th time trying to do it or something. Like, I was like, this, like, I can't get it. I cannot get it. That would have been one of those tests. I'm going to just put my name on the top, get the credit, and
Enter
I'm
C
going
all the
to
way
hand
down.
it on in. Like,
Yeah.
this one's, I can't get it.
Greg Cosell joins us from NFL Films. Greg, what's up? How are you?
Guys, it's great to be here
Welcome
in studio.
into
I know.
town.
I know. Yeah.
Get our
Good
guy
to be
in.
good to be in studio, you know?
A live taping of The Install with Greg Cosell coming up tomorrow. The Analog Room over at the Hutton Hotel. And Cosell's you're gonna break down the Titans draft picks with an assist from Titans head coach Brian Callahan, who's bringing his own film
Wow.
to hit on. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's he's taking this
That's
seriously.
what I was gonna say. He prepared.
Oh, my
Cosell.
God.
I'm on
How about
film.
that?
Wow. Good for him.
So the cool thing is, like, it's a really intimate room and
Yeah.
setting, and like the lighting's incredible. The
Yep.
stage is great. You guys have a large screen behind you where you're
Yep.
showing film and you're analyzing things, and you're going to have the head coach involved for the first time. So this is going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. It holds 250 people, and I think we're like 20 away from selling it out.
Well, come on. We still have a day now. Come on. We need 20 more people.
Absolutely.
1045thezone.com is where you can get tickets, and I'm telling you, life is about memories. You will never forget this.
It's
This
always
is
a
one
great
of
time.
those memories that you'll have. That's just a super cool event that most people don't get access to, and you have access.
And
to.
you know what's been so great is I think the audience really understands the whole event. And I just remember, because this is our third year, they ask great questions. Like, these are people that really think about it and ask great questions, and they're really into it, and that's the fun. Is when you get these questions and you go, man, I really got to think about the answer to this question.
That's the best thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the best thing. And they wait all year long because they hear from you all year long,
Right,
breaking down
right.
their team, and they get an opportunity. Because a lot of times we can't call in because there's so much to break down, especially over a game, and we're just doing a fraction of it on air.
Right,
So
and-
in that case,
Yeah.
that's totally different.
And also, when you're face to face, it's a whole different feeling.
Yep.
It's so much more intimate, and that, as Brent just said, that analog room there's an intimate feel to it. You're
Yep.
close,
Yep.
so it's not like you're sitting in a stadium. you
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, and then we got somebody special doing the monologue.
Oh, really?
Know what that is?
They used to call into Coach Mack and Rhett, that guy,
No, not that guy. You got any ideas, Zeph?
Mr. What was his name?
Enthusiastic.
Yes, Mr.
He waits
Enthusiastic.
on wins to call in, I believe.
Well,
You got any ideas, Zeph?
his role was limited last year.
It was. Very.
What'd you say again?
See.
Sorry, I was trying to find the install link so I could put it in the chat, which I
No,
did.
so I'm saying, you know who's doing the monologue? Who's done it year after year?
No, who did it last year?
Uh-huh. Nobody knows.
Oh, it was you. You
yes.
introed. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
forgot because it was after the show.
Yep.
We had a show. Y'all were on a live, actually.
We
Y'all
were, and I
remote.
hustled over and got over there.
And you had to run over there. I remember because I walked from the station. I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah,
He couldn't
I didn't
roll
go
me.
last year, but 2 years ago you did the same thing.
So, yeah, I'm just telling y'all, you know what I mean? We opened the show up the correct way.
Last year Ram was there, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Slay opened the show last year, and he set the mood. He
Yeah.
set the mood.
So
Yeah, that's it. That's
yesterday,
Cosell. See, that's what I'm
Cosell-
trying to drag out of them, Cosell. They wouldn't do it.
Yesterday, Cosell, we were at the Big Orange Caravan event, and we did our show out there. So in the 5 o'clock hour, we put on Josh Heupel, then Rick Barnes, then
Kim Caldwell.
then Danny White,
Yep, Danny.
and then they start their event and they bring everybody
Mike
on.
started with Mike Keefe.
Mike Keefe,
4 o'clock,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, man, it was
so,
great.
speaking of Josh Heupel, who's the quarterback for the Volunteers this year?
Well, so I asked him about, because we have to, right? Like, he hasn't done that much media since Nico and that whole thing.
Right.
And so I said, this is a crazy world in college football from a head coaching perspective. Like, how surprised were you that went down that way and that he's not on the roster? This Nico situation. And he goes, I prefer to call it the Joey Aguilar situation.
So is that the quarterback now?
Well, it's one they're bringing in. So they've got 2 young guys that went
So
to the spring
Aguilar came
practice.
from where?
App State.
App State, but he transferred to UCLA.
Yeah.
And so he won.
So he hasn't played at UCLA.
No.
So he
won-
transferred there, but okay.
So Nico went to UCLA, and then Aguilar went to Tennessee. It's the first trade in college football.
It's going to be fascinating because it's kind of the wild, wild west now with
Yeah.
all this. There's somewhere along the line there's going to have to be some rules. I'm curious to see how that all plays
Well, and
out.
that's what Danny White said. I think like we interviewed all these guys like in one segment, but so anyway, after our show was over, Rick Barnes and all the coaches are up there. Rick Barnes likes to give everybody crap. That's like his thing. He's
You would love
wildly
to talk to him.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure I would.
Oh.
He's wildly.
Well, you
hilarious.
obviously, I'm sure, know him.
Yeah, so it's your conversation in relation to sports, especially basketball.
Well, I mean,
Y'all have a field
basketball,
day.
because I played it, I mean, I think about it, And when I played sports, I thought the games. I like,
Yeah.
so, because I played, my high school, because growing up in Queens and New York, did not have a football team. So I played baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
And I thought the games, that's the way I played. And, so basketball to me, it's funny. baseball's a little different, but basketball, any sport, and people don't think about this with football because the field's bigger, but any sport where there's confined space, you see it more with basketball and hockey because you can see the whole court or ice when you're watching on TV. Football, you obviously can't. So people don't think about it that way. But any sport that has confined space, it's a matter of how do you use that space.
Yeah.
You know, defense is trying to minimize space. Offense is trying to expand space.
Right.
You know, it's a very general comment, obviously, but football is a confined space game.
Yeah, my bad for hijacking.
Well, so they wanted to add some space to or maybe confine some space to the stage. Rick Barnes, like while they're all up there, says, Ron Slay's here. Ron, come up on stage.
Yeah, like I know.
So Slay, and so Barnes like, get the people ready.
And I guess, and my guess is Slay didn't say, "Nah, I'm not going to do that."
I thought about it, but then I say, in Slay fashion, you got to go on.
And you ended your speech with, "If there's one thing I know,
just go Vols, because that's all I know.
that's it.
Go Vols.
Because that's all I know."
So now, do you know Ernie Grunfeld at all?
No, we've crossed paths and sat and talked for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, but
But you don't really know him.
You did meet
him.
Bernie.
Yeah, I did meet Bernie. Yeah, but Ernie, me and him, we crossed paths. Don't know him like that. But if we were to sit in the room, like we know each other,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But not where we called him.
Because I'm sure I've told you that I went head to head against him in high school.
Yeah, what did you say? You held him to what?
Well, he had 36 points and 25 rebounds. By the way, I didn't.
Come on, Greg, you're thinking on the ball.
Listen, man, a lot of scorers, they take a little off.
Well,
on
he was
defense,
6'5", 235 his senior year in high school.
Yes,
And
he was that same size going
and
into college.
I was 6'4", 178, maybe.
And he knew how to use his size.
Yeah.
That was like. That's why you put him and Bernard King together.
No three-point shot either for those 36
Bernard King, that guy had the quickest turnaround. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes I didn't know how did he know where the basket was?
Right.
I mean,
it
was so quick though, right, Slay?
Yep, very.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
And he elevated so high.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Just hope he missed.
You're right. Yeah.
So we thought we would have Cosell at 4 o'clock, but his hotel wasn't ready. So we've got him now until whenever he decides he gets tired of us. So
I'm done. I'm tired of you guys.
That's fair. Here's what's going to happen. We're probably going to go light on the Titans, guys, since you have this event tomorrow.
We want tomorrow night to be the big event.
Right. So
we want to sell 20 more tickets, Brent,
But we do have plenty to talk about with regard to NFL draft picks and things like that. So we'll do that. And if you want to ask a question, again, light on the Titans, people, but maybe this is an opportunity for fans of other teams to call in and ask about picks that you're wondering about. 615-737-1045. I just heard from Buck Rising there are 10 tickets left now.
Beautiful.
I like it.
Let's get those things sold. 1045thezone.com. Get them sold. You're never going to forget this opportunity. It's such a cool vibe, too. Like, even if you don't like football, You'll love this event because of the venue and the drinks and all those things.
And even though it's football, Brent, you make a great point. Even though it's football, I think the feeling of the whole event is such that it's not like a lecture. It's not like you're in constitutional law class and you're being lectured. It's just a cool vibe.
No, you're coming to learn.
Yeah.
You're getting to learn. You're getting to be involved in it, interaction. Then, like, you had Rand last year. You got Cosell, who lives film, breaking down film with your head coach, who's open, probably more open than any other head coach in these last 2 years.
Well, I'll give you an example, Slay. Funny you just said that. So today's Thursday. Yesterday, obviously, I get a chance to do other markets as well. So even after the draft, I had to watch some guys that I hadn't seen because, I'm one person. I can't see 500 guys because for 6 months, 7 months out of the year, I'm all NFL. As people probably know because of the NFL matchup show. So I'm not doing college.
Spectacular.
I'm not doing college, 12 months out of the year like some other guys. And so I caught up on some guys, that I had to see. And all of a sudden, about 12:30 yesterday, I'm in my office and I just finished. And because I've been working basically 7 days a week since last August, I kind of sat back and said, this is the weirdest feeling. I can actually not do something right now, and I didn't know how to handle that because I just go.
Yeah.
Even on Monday when I get back to the office, I'm already thinking, okay, who am I going to watch that's going to be in next year's draft? And I'm already thinking, I'm going to watch Nussmeier. I'm going to watch Beck. I'm going to watch Klubnik. I mean, I'm just because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love it,
Yeah.
It's just that's what I do.
Nuts.
Well, and the other cool thing about this event, and I know with Brian Callahan there, like you love to ask questions too. Like You love the opportunity to go learn from a guy. And here's the thing that we know and this market knows about Brian Callahan. He will tell you exactly what he's thinking.
Well, I have a bunch of questions for him. I'm ready to go.
Right, and you know how to ask the right questions to the head coach, so Buck can just sit over here.
Right.
Don't you say a word.
Yeah. So, again, tickets, 1045thezone.com. It's going to be a fun night on a Friday night if you're looking for something to do. I know Nashville is more of a walk-up town, but this thing will be sold out by the time the event happens. So go ahead and go ahead and secure your tickets, 1045thezone.com. And to Greg's point, like, if you're a dude that loves football, maybe your significant other doesn't, they're still going to have a great time.
Oh,
because
for sure.
The ambiance and the environment is amazing. And again, just 250 people. I mean, it's
awesome.
an intimate event, and that's going on tomorrow night at the Hutton Hotel, the Analog Room, 1045thezone.com. It's funny. We played your take on Shador's film the other day, and remember I asked you who is your second guy tape-wise, and this was before the draft, and you said Tyler Shuck.
What I said was, so people understand, is I said he had the second best tape. You know, there's so many variables when a quarterback gets to the league that it's hard to say, people take that to mean, he's the second best quarterback. He has the second best tape.
And I was sure to point that out when we played that film.
And he got drafted by the Saints with, I think, the 40th pick in the draft.
But based on your film, and you don't do mock drafts or anything like that.
I don't
you
do
don't
that.
rank players necessarily unless I ask you a specific question about tape, because there's more to it than that, right? But that is the first thing that everyone looks at in that business. But I came away from listening to your take on Shador's tape thinking he's probably not going in the first round. And you didn't say that. To drop to the fifth round, I was surprised.
Well, there's a reason for that, and I'm being honest with you guys. I found out the reason, and I can't talk about it. I'm being honest. There's some things when you talk to coaches, and you just can't say, and I found out the reason, and in all honesty, once I found out the reason, I'm surprised he was even drafted. I'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Well, and you've got to figure there are only a handful of teams that are even looking for that. Right? So if certain things happen, then it makes sense.
But I mean, if you're just talking about him as a player, let's leave out all the other stuff.
Go right down the field.
I think if you just go by film, he is a specific kind of player, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with what he is, but he's a specific kind of player. He's essentially a pocket player. Now, he's not immobile, but if he's going to be a really good NFL player at the quarterback position, if he gets that opportunity, at his core, he's a pocket quarterback. So there's so much that goes into being a pocket quarterback in the league that you have to learn and that he would have to learn. Think about this, guys. Nobody thinks about this. There's the operational part of playing quarterback, and by that I mean there's calling the play in the huddle and getting to the line of scrimmage, which most college quarterbacks do not do.
That's right.
Caleb Williams struggled with that all last year. He struggled with the operational part, which, by the way, it's not surprising to me because he's never done it before.
Right.
So, he would get to the line of scrimmage. There'd only be 5 or 6 seconds left on the play clock, and then he doesn't have time to really see the defense, doesn't have time to check anything, doesn't have time to do anything. Then you just have to run the play, and it might not be a good play against what the defense shows. But the operational part of playing quarterback, which is calling the play in the huddle, calling it with conviction, because don't forget, you've got 10 other eyes staring right at you, and you have to call this play like it's the most important play that you're calling in your life, and you have to do that every single play.
Yep.
And I know John Gruden used to have NFL films come down in training camp or OTAs or whatever they call it at that particular time, and have us film the quarterbacks calling plays in the huddle, because he used that as a coaching and teaching tool, because that's so important to call it with conviction and to call it with not only conviction but with speed, so you can get to the line of scrimmage, because then the defense shows you something and that might not be the best play, and every coach then wants to be in a position where they can alert something. And if you get there with 4 or 5 seconds on the play clock, there's no alerts. You have no time for that.
Greg Cosell in studio. I saw him do that with Jackson Dart. I want to talk to you about that when we come back. Also, your phone calls if you want in with Cosell. Derek wants to ask about Egbuka, the wide receiver from Ohio State. Jonathan in Shelbyville next up. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Greg Cosell in studio, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, y'all? KellamStemCellInstitute.com is where you need to line up and get to. Why you need to get this information out of your body, and you have the healing process right there in you. It's your body, your cells, your solution. The body's stem cells, they're stored for future and continued use at Kellum Stem Cell Institute, and you can always go back there to get that secret sauce, to get that little aching pain out of your knee, your ankle, back, neck, whatever it may be, hip or shoulder. And it's not just for athletes. Now, I must say, for athletes, they do have an opportunity to cut the healing process in half. Yes, you heard that correctly. Cut the healing process in half. But Dr. Kellum, who you will sit down and meet with during your consultation, not only is a specialist, a stem cell specialist for the Tennessee Titans, but also worked with the Boston Celtics and Olympic Team USA. Just call this number, 615-850-4415. That's the number you want to dial, 615-850-4415. Set your consultation up today with KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
Best announcement ever from Two Rivers Ford. It's all about employee pricing, and maybe you're thinking, okay, well, what does that have to do with me? Because you get it. Yeah, Two Rivers Ford offering employee pricing for absolutely everybody. So you're going to pay whatever they pay on almost every new Ford on that lot. And at Two Rivers Ford, what you see, always what you get. They don't do things like add in service packages to make the price of the vehicle go up. Nope. Upfront, honest, every single time. That is Two Rivers Ford, and now they're offering you employee pricing. No better time to buy American and no better dealership than Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, home of the non-commissioned sales team, and I am here to tell you that they really are there just to help you. I still text my salespeople over at Two Rivers Ford when I have questions about my truck. They're the best. They'll take care of you. And now it's home of employee pricing for everyone. From America, for America. That's Two Rivers Ford. Go see them, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made. Whether you're a homeowner creating your dream space or a pro managing multiple projects, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home, where great ideas become stunning spaces. Ferguson Home is designed for the way you want to shop. Explore the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting products online, or experience items firsthand in one of our showrooms. Our experts offer personalized support every step of the way. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Shop top brands like Visual Comfort, or find your local showroom at fergusonhome.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Dawn Davenport on assignment. She's covering beach volleyball for ESPN2. And apparently she participated in some kind of 2-on-2 thing. I wonder how she's feeling. I mean, she's getting up there in age. She's 26 now.
Also, beach volleyball, way harder than normal volleyball.
Yeah. Right, Cosell?
You know, I used to play volleyball. It's funny, in the summertime, years and years ago at NFL Films, when we had a lot less work in the summer, there was a volleyball net outside of NFL Films we used to play.
That's funny.
That's when I was a young man.
Who was the best, NFL Films volleyball player? Was it Steve Zabel or?
No, Steve didn't play, but it was a long time ago, so I can't remember. But I played. It was great.
You were talking about John Gruden's fascination with play calls.
Oh, yeah.
So now he's doing this thing, I think with Barstool or whatever, and he brought in a lot of the quarterbacks.
Yep.
He didn't bring in Cam and he didn't bring in Shador, I know that, but he brought in Jackson Dart and he asked him for a play call.
Yep.
And Jackson Dart looked at him and he goes, okay.
He clapped his hands.
He clapped his hands once. And Gruden looked at him and he's like, that's your play call? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, what if you're going deception or something? And he goes, oh, that was purple. We called it purple. And that was. So what do you do with that?
Well, you have to start from scratch. See, that's the operational part that I was talking about of playing quarterback. I mean, that's what these guys have to be taught. Because don't forget, they've been doing this since they're 10 years old, since they started playing quarterback with all these 7-on-7s now. Mm-hmm. I mean, Slade, this is the way these guys are brought up playing quarterback. There's two things that they're brought up in playing quarterback. Number one, just what you're talking about, Brent, where they don't really call plays. And number two, where they don't learn anything about the defense.
Yeah.
Right.
And Kurt Warner,
it's one read or no read.
Right.
You've talked about that with some guys.
Yeah, and Kurt Warner, who, we go back and forth a lot, and he hits me up all the time and wants to know how what I think of certain quarterbacks, and we start talking about the quarterback position. He just can't get over the fact that he says, how can you play quarterback in the NFL and not really know about defense? Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's the way a lot of this is. A lot of it is what's called pure progression. You've heard that term, where pretty much you have a primary read, a secondary read, and maybe a third read, and it doesn't matter what the defense is. So all you're doing is getting to the line of scrimmage, and you're not looking at the defense, but maybe the defense has taken away your first and second read, and then you're stuck because you don't, you're not aware of the defense in any way, shape, or form. These guys aren't taught anything about defense, so they have to. They have to learn that, and then they have to learn how to call plays.
Well, and the defenses in the NFL are so dramatically more complex than what you see in college football because they're limited in college football with the 20-hour rule, right? And then 3 of that is game time, so it's hard to install zone on this side, man on this side. I mean, it's just so much more fluid in the NFL.
And the hash marks change the whole symmetry of the game. Yep. In college football, you can always throw a relatively easy completion to the wide side of the field because it's so wide. I mean, I think it's either 5.5 or 6.5 yards difference and that might not seem like a lot. But you watch a college game, and the wide side of the field is really there's a lot of space.
When watching it with Ramon, usually if it's college or NFL, the first thing he'll say is, "Dog, look at the splits."
Yeah,
look how far the hashes are. Look at all that space they got to work with.
That's what Heupel does.
And me, just as a fan of the game, looking like, dog, what you talking about? That can't be that much of a difference.
I'm sure,
you ain't got a clue.
No, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And you know who taught me that? I was fortunate enough to have a conversation years ago when I did the book with Ron Jaworski. And I was probably aware of it, but then when you talk to a coach and they say something, it resonates in your mind differently, even though you say, yeah, I knew that, but the way they say it.
Yeah.
So the guy who told me that years ago when I was really fortunate to have a 2-hour conversation with him was Bill Belichick. He started talking about the difference between college football and the NFL, and he talked about the wide side of the field and talked about the difference in the hash marks and how it totally made the game different. And, and the other thing, and Ramon could speak to this better than I, but you see the offensive line splits in college football, they're so wide because you can't really crowd the box on defense because then you don't have enough people to cover the space.
Yep. That's right.
So it's a whole. The game is totally different, and the people who say the game is the same because there's 3 wide receivers, that's irrelevant. I mean, the game is totally different,
spatially different. Derek in the Borough with Greg Cosell in studio. Derek, what's up?
Hey guys, I'm a Buccaneers fan, and I was surprised we took a wide receiver in the first round. So I was curious, one, do you think that's a reflection of Chris Godwin's injury? And two, how do you think Ibuka will fit in the offense and in the wide receiver room? And I'll hang it up and listen.
Great question.
Hey,
man.
Derek.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
well, first of all, I love Ibuka. So my guess is, and I don't know this for a fact, my guess is they had him probably as a top 10 player on their board. And when it got to their pick, they just said, we're taking the guy we have rated the best. And Ibuka, to me, is just going to be a 10-year great pro. You know, he's big. He knows how to run routes. I actually listened to him talk at the podium at the Combine. He spoke like a true professional. Yeah. You know, some guys I like to hear talk. You know, Slay, you can appreciate this. Yeah. You hear a guy talk, you probably see in college basketball. Some guys, you just hear him and you say, this guy gets it. Yeah. He knows how to play. Yep. You know, he just gets the game. You know, and Ibuka is exactly that guy. Mm-hmm. He's got good size. And the way the game has changed, you know, I think this delineation between slot and outside has a little bit fallen by the wayside because there's so many what we call reduced splits where wide receivers line up closer to the formation. Yeah. So you can still be, quote unquote, the outside receiver, but you're just tighter to the formation. Yeah. So it's not just that, oh, he's a slot receiver. So, and it is possible that Godwin, I don't know that. You know, we don't know till they go through the OTAs and mini camps and training camp where Chris Godwin is in terms of being able to play. He's older now. He's probably in the 30. He's probably about 30, I would give or take. Yeah. You know, somewhere around there. But Ibuka, to me, is just going to be one of those guys that's going to be a really, really good pro. And maybe, by the way, I felt the same way about Jalen McMillan, who they drafted last year. And I think the third round, was it? And he started to come on late in the season. So they've got two young wide receivers that I really like their tape.
And Godwin just turned 29.
There you go.
February 27th. So
okay.
Yeah, I'd be okay if I was a Buccaneers fan with Mike Evans and Ibuka and waiting on Godwin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, more with Greg Cosell in studio, 615-737-1045. Again, a live taping of The Install. Greg Cosell, hosted by Buck Rising tomorrow night in the Analog Room at the Hutton Hotel. Cosell will break down the Titans draft picks with an assist from Titans head coach Brian Callahan. Just a few tickets left. 1045thezone.com.
What is happening, y'all? I'm talking to all the parents out there. You need to get your kids involved. What? Involved in what? You probably asking. Well, it's coming to hooping. You need to get to Vertical Gyms. That's the place to sharpen your skills and grow your game and rise above the rim. 2328 Jackson Downs Boulevard. That is the location. Now, this is what you got to understand. They got a grand opening coming May 3rd. When is May 3rd, people? That's Saturday, 9 a.m., ribbon cutting. I'll be in the building. 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. The celebration will feature gym tours, on-court skill demos, live training sessions, music, food, giveaways, and so much more. Premier shooting clinic for the grand opening weekend with Coach Mike Dunn on Sunday, May 4th. But come on out and you can figure out even more. Comprehensive approach to athlete development. It's dedicated hub for basketball performance, skill development, and year-round training. So if you're looking to get in the game or get somebody to get you in the game, especially kids, get the Vertical Gyms and rise above the rim.
I want to tell you about Xfinity Internet. I know what I want, and I only buy what I need to keep me connected. Stay connected with Wi-Fi coverage that delivers the speed your devices need. Count on a reliable connection for all of your devices, even when everyone's online. Protect your devices and help keep loved ones safe and secure online with its advanced security, included at no extra cost, 24/7 customer service. Here for you whenever you need it with in-home Wi-Fi support. Stay connected on the go with over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. Get the best Wi-Fi for your home. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network with the Xfinity app. Personalize your Wi-Fi name, password, assign user profiles, view and control connected devices, and much more. Use the Xfinity app to pause Wi-Fi to disconnect for a while, set family safe browsing, and much more. Advanced security is available to Xfinity Internet customers with a compatible Xfinity gateway. Must activate advanced security through Xfinity app. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management. Xfinity.com to learn more.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Brian Callahan, Jacob Conquo, Tyler Lockett, Xavier Woods, and Peter Skoronsky all met with the media earlier today. Okonkwo, entering year 4 with the team, was asked about turning the page after having the worst record in the league last season.
I mean, I think we're in a unique spot. Like I said, having the number 1 pick, I feel like the excitement here is more so than everything that happened in the past, and we're just all ready to forget about it and move on. So for us, it's really just more so looking towards the future because that's, everything we're doing in the building right now is geared towards that.
The deadline to pick up fifth-year options for 2022 first-rounders has officially passed. While the Ravens have picked up Kyle Hamilton but declined Tyler Lindenbaum, teams like the Titans did not pick up Traylon Burks. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
.3HL 104.5 The Zone, Thursday edition. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It's a little cloudy out there.
Just a little bit.
Got you going here for 3HL. A lot of NFL talk. Slay is here, y'all.
I'm in the building. Better be ready.
Rick Barnes pulled Slay on stage yesterday during the Big Orange Caravan. No surprise there.
He did. I was surprised.
Well, you mentioned the Boom Boom Room, and he immediately, and you said, because I don't think we've done that with Kim Caldwell.
No, we
the
haven't.
Lady Vols basketball coach, who Cosell is in studio. Greg Cosell is in studio with us from NFL Films, and you're a big basketball guy.
Oh, yeah.
So the new Lady Vols coach, Kim Caldwell, yesterday I said, look, you take the job, you change the entire way the Lady Vols did basketball. So she goes with the, 5 in, 5 out, subbing all the time. 10 players are playing, couple minutes apiece, all this. So you've got to buy into that. Like, that's a drastically different way to play basketball up there. So I said, you institute this system that hadn't been done. You win 24 games. You go to the Sweet 16 in year 1, and you have a baby. And she goes, yeah, I wouldn't advise having a baby in season. Because I asked her, how'd you manage all that? You know what I mean?
And by the way, I mean.
And I said, so next baby out of season. And she's like, yes.
Yeah.
And women's basketball now, I mean, they are so talented. It is ridiculous.
The athleticism that they got a couple of.
Oh, my God.
Like, wow.
It's crazy the way it's become.
The coaching is so much better, too, right?
Yeah, it is serious.
Yeah, it's very serious.
Yeah.
Greg Cosell in studio, a live taping of The Install with Greg Cosell, hosted by Buck Rising tomorrow night in the Analog Room at the Hutton Hotel. Cosell breaking down Titans draft picks. Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Titans, will be there. He's bringing film of his own. Just a few tickets left. Less than 10 tickets are left. If you want in, you don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm telling you, you'll remember it forever. Intimate room, 250 people. These experts breaking down film of the Titans draft picks, so you'll have a full understanding of what you are going to see in training camp and on into the season. 1045thezone.com, and we certainly appreciate you coming in here.
Oh, no, I love it. I love being with you guys.
So we are taking calls if you want. We're going to be Titans draft pick light today because you're going to spend a lot of time deep diving into the draft picks tomorrow. But we have plenty of room for anybody that's a fan of another team and you want to ask draft picks. We had a Buccaneers question about Igbukah and Chris Godwin's injury and all these things, and you love doing that.
I love it.
Any and every team.
I mean, because we're going to go through. Last year we went 3 hours. So I mean, we're going to end up going 3 hours tomorrow night.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Slay has had questions about a guy you mentioned earlier, and I know he didn't get drafted this year. He's going to be in the quarterback class next year, but Nussmeier down at LSU.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So is it – we were talking to our friend Mike Detillier down there, and he said it's kind of hard to evaluate him a little bit because he never sees loaded boxes because there's no threat of a run game.
Right.
And so he's always throwing into coverage, so to speak. What do you take from the film that you watched from him?
Yeah, and I haven't, taken notes on him yet. And in fact, it's funny. I was telling you guys during a break that when I go back to the office on Monday, believe it or not, I'm going to start looking at guys who will be in next year's draft, and he has to be in next year's draft because his eligibility will be done. And he's one of the first guys I'm going to look at. But obviously, I saw him because of players I had to watch on LSU. And he's a very gifted thrower. He's an aggressive thrower, and I think sometimes that gets him into a little trouble. But I always like guys who are aggressive throwers. I think you can dial that back down more so than you can take guys who are so quick to check it down. Yeah. I think that the guys who immediately check it down, and just don't have that mentality, because I always view that more as a mentality, at the quarterback position to drive the ball and push it down the field. Nussmeier is clearly a gifted thrower. He's got enough mobility. I'm really anxious to see him play this year, but I want to really study his college tape from last year. Obviously, LSU gets players, but they did not have any kind of meaningful run game a year ago. I know they have. Wasn't that back a true freshman?
Yeah.
Durham, was that his name?
I don't even remember. That's how significant that run game was.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he was a true freshman, and he's fast, and I'm sure they're counting on him to give them a more significant run game this year.
From your perspective, too, when you start to figure out who you're going to spend time working on, like Arch Manning's got 3 more years of eligibility. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The way I normally do it,
there's no guarantee he comes out next year, even though everybody has him number 1.
And given, his uncles, they may say, hey, it's, stay in school. And
they all did.
Yeah,
both of them did. Yeah. They stayed their entire time.
Well, the way I try to start it is I started with guys who don't have any more eligibility after this coming 2025 season, and then guys who I think obviously will come out, like Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State, who, by the way, obviously Ohio State had 7 or 8 guys on defense that were in this draft, but when you watch their tape, Caleb Downs he just stands out. That guy's really a good football player.
Yeah. And Saban had him just sitting there, loaded up on the Alabama roster.
I know, he started at Alabama.
I read something today from one of those draft guys that says Caleb Downs is the best safety prospect since whoever you want to mention.
Right.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, So
and that's an undervalued position now. So
it's a position that I think, it's funny. And that's something else that's really interesting about all the draft guys. I guess I'm one of them, but I don't talk like this because I've had a chance to really talk to a lot of coaches over the years. When people say, "Oh, a position may not be important," talk to a coach, and he'll tell you that, hey, if I don't have a good guy at a certain position, that limits my playbook. That's the issue that people don't think about. It's sure we can make a list of what positions we think are really important. Mm-hmm. Like obviously, people will say pass rusher or corner, but a safety. If you have really good safeties, there's so many more things you can do with your defense from a playbook perspective and a play calling perspective.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Cosell. We had a guy that kind of snuck in and got signed, Tyler Lockett, that came on in.
Yep.
What do you see? What does he bring, especially to a rookie quarterback? What does he bring coming from Seattle?
Well, I think the reason you signed a Lockett is he's not what he was 3 or 4 years ago. Right. The vertical dimension is not quite the same, but he knows how to get open. He's really good against zone. He's not necessarily run after catch. A lot of people might see highlights of him and think, oh, he catches the ball and falls down, which he does a lot, but he knows how to find voids in zones, and that's really important for a young quarterback. Plus, you're trying to build, and you hear coaches talk about this all the time. They talk about rooms. Yeah. So, now the wide receiver room. You have a veteran guy who knows what it's like to play in the league. Yeah. And we'll talk about the 2 wide receivers they drafted in detail tomorrow night at the install. But now you have young receivers who need to learn how to play in the NFL. Right. And a guy like Lockett can help them in that regard. That's what you're looking for. They didn't know when they signed Lockett that they would draft Ike and Ian Minor. Right. But still, they did now. And so you have young guys, and they need to learn how to play in the league. Yep. And a guy like Lockett really helps. And, Slay and Brent, you hear coaches talk all the time about the room. That's the way coaches talk because that's where you spend. They're happy. If their team plays poorly, they immediately think it's, bad coaching or whatever. But the point is, far more time is spent in preparation than it is playing the game.
No question.
Greg Cosell in studio, 615-737-1045. Trey is in Franklin. Trey, what's up?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good,
Hey,
man.
Trey.
I want to ask Greg about a guy. I'm a huge Auburn fan and just curious. One of the guys that went undrafted, I think he signed as a UDFA, was linebacker Eugene Asante.
Yeah.
And I was just curious. He was one of the best football players we had the last 2 years. Now, granted, we didn't have that many. They've been hard to watch. But he single-handedly won a game at Cal 2 years ago, which is really hard to do as a linebacker. And I think it was a size issue. But I'm just wondering, like, it seems like football guys would look at that guy and say, now, there's a football player.
Yeah.
But sometimes his size is it that big of an issue with him? Like, what was it, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to why he wasn't drafted. I thought he was a draftable player because I watched. In fact, I remember watching him last summer in 2023 because I knew he had to come out this year, and I thought his tape was, let's put it this way. I was anxious to see him in 2024 because I thought his tape said that, hey, this guy's a draftable player. If he has a great year, could certainly be drafted. Now, he didn't play as well in 2024 as he did in 2023 overall. And I think the combination of the fact that he is a little smaller and he didn't play as well, and sometimes when guys aren't drafted, they could easily have gone in the 6th round, but a team it didn't work out that way. But, unfortunately, when you don't get drafted, you're kind of behind the 8 ball a bit when you go into the OTAs and minicamp. But I thought he was a draftable player. It didn't work out for him. But no, he's lighter, but he moves well. I guess they did have Jalen McLeod was drafted, the edge player. I forget who drafted him. He was a later round pick. But, yeah, I was surprised Asante did not get drafted.
Appreciate it, Greg.
Thank you, Trey. Appreciate it. More of that as we roll through the show. 615-737-1045. Adrian wants to ask about Anthony Richardson. We'll do that when we come back.
All right.
3HL, Greg Cosell in studio, 1045 The Zone. I want to tell you about our friends at Ferguson Home. They are the presenting sponsor of 3HL. We went to the new Mount Juliet location not too long ago and saw all of the incredible products, including visual comfort and company lighting. Elevate your home with lighting that's timeless and beautiful. Luxury lighting with timeless materials and expert craftsmanship. If you're a homeowner creating your dream space, look no further than Ferguson Home. Ferguson Home has the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting for any of your home projects. Not sure where to start and how to get a beautiful finished project? Then let Ferguson Home help. Book an appointment at your local showroom and get firsthand knowledge and personalized experts to help you every step of the way. They are in Mount Juliet, as I mentioned, in Providence Marketplace, Powell Avenue in Nashville, New Salem Road in Murfreesboro, in Clarksville, West Dunbar Cave Road, Bowling Green, Lovers Lane. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com.
All right, y'all, listen up, man. The golf tournament is around the corner. And listen, we also have Boswell's Golf Cars who are super excited to have what? Yes, not only be a sponsor, but their hole-in-one sponsor at the golf tournament. On 4 different holes, if you get a hole-in-one, you will win a beautiful new golf car. That's straight from Boswell's Golf Cars. Nashville's trusted family-owned golf car dealer since 1963. I went over there today at 111 Transit Avenue, and I promise you, you will be blown away by exactly what they have. 6-seaters, 4-seaters, 2-seaters, anything you're looking to transport from the house all the way down to the pool. Or if you're out there on the golf course and you're looking to go in and up the ante, you can do that. I'm up in the ante for sure. I got the specialized sleigh ride golf cart that's going to be in full effect by Boswell, and you don't want to miss it. It's a 3rd-generation local owned company, and you got to understand Tony and the family, they take care of business. They can take care of you too. Go to Boswell's Golf Cars in Nashville and get your car done right. The golf cart is.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Greg Cosell in studio. Again, a live taping of the install. Greg Cosell hosted by Buck Rising. Brian Callahan will be there. A night at the Analog Room, the Hutton Hotel. 1045thezone.com. Just a few tickets left. Go ahead and do that. It's going to be a fun night. We mentioned Jackson Dart a little while ago with the play calling where Gruden did his thing. And he's like, okay, give me a play call, with the Y2 banana and all that stuff. And he goes... and he goes, okay, well, what's like a deceptive thing? And he goes, oh, that's purple. And he goes,
and then he clapped twice.
Clapped twice. What do you think about Jackson Dart, the player?
I kept going back and forth on Dart. He was one of those guys. I watched him last summer. I watched him this year. And I finally came around to the belief that I think he can be a quality NFL starter. One of the things, and I learned this from Phil Simms, so I don't want to take credit for it, and I noticed it watching his tape, but I also noticed it at the combine when obviously you're in shorts and a T-shirt and throwing. Sometimes he works hard to throw the ball. And Phil Simms used to tell me that if a guy has to work hard to throw the ball, that sometimes that can be a little bit of a red flag because, he's going to have bodies around him, and if he can't really just throw the ball with people around him without really having to work very hard, that means he can't play, but that's just something to be aware of. But I came around to believing that he could be a quality starter, and his mobility will be a factor. And that's the way the game is now played because what I don't think a lot of people think about is it impacts the way the defense has to play. That's the critical piece. Now, he's not dynamic the way, a Josh Allen is or a Lamar Jackson, but his legs will be a factor. He can run for first downs, and you can have a designed quarterback run game with him situationally, and that is now becoming a bigger factor more than ever in the league.
Greg Cosell with us on 3HL 615-737-1045. Adrian in Columbia has got a question about a current player within the AFC South Division. Adrian, what's up? How are you?
Hey, Corey ain't got no rules.
That's right. Let's go, baby.
Tighten up. Hey, I was going to ask a question about him, but, I really don't care what they got going on. It's all about the two-tone blue. I was just trying to, respect what y'all said and just try to come off something different. So I was sitting here thinking, and I guess I got a question more for Ron.
Okay, talk to me.
Hey, man, we got 12 receivers already on the roster right now, I believe.
Yeah, we deep.
We got the number one with first in waiver claims all the way to week 3, I believe, if I'm correct on that, too.
Yep.
Is there a chance if a team released a good receiver, would you think we'll pick them up, or you think we're done with that and we'll probably focus more on tackles or in anything else that might come up that'd be like, that player got released, we got to get him.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to talk about, man. Y'all have a good day. Corey got no rules. Let's go.
Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, Adrian, this is what I do think, man. One thing you can never shun away or bat an eye to is depth. Like, teams, I don't care what sport it is, want depth. And positions like receiver in a pass-happy league, especially also breeding competition in that room, like Cosell was talking about, like you want to have that.
Yep.
Look at what we just went through as far as the offensive line is trying to reshape it, remake it. The injuries come up, and those nicks that come up throughout the season, you always want to be able to have a time where you can have a swing guy come in, kind of relieve somebody, or if you're relieving somebody from practice, let alone the game, you want to be able to have bodies in there where you don't miss a beat, because the weird thing about football is not like basketball and baseball. That one person that can't pick up, you got to stop to reteach something to, that doesn't just stall that unit. That stalls everybody from going against the other 11 on the other side, or you trying to get some continuity on that side, so you can't miss. I think they look in either direction, whether it be receiver or offensive line. But me, I would love for it to be offensive line, because it all starts in the trenches, and you need them guys moving as a unit anyway. And I think we are going to be able to come along in the receiver room. So,
I mean, now you've got Calvin Ridley, Van Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, Isle Manor, Traylon Burks if he gets back. And DK, from Florida.
DK,
Yep. Jaquan Jackson was drafted last year.
Yeah.
Bryce Oliver was an undrafted guy. That was
Colton Dow.
Yeah.
He gets back off.
Restrepo, undrafted.
Restrepo. Like, that's another guy you got to keep your eye. Mason Kinsey still back. Mm-hmm. That's the guy you got to keep your eye on, to me. Restrepo. Just for the simple fact of the work. This is what we was talking about with Babsy. The work that's going to be done outside of practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it may not be plenty of opportunities for him in practice to work with Cam because he'll be with the 3s or 4s or whatever it is. But those opportunities to run drills or get my skill work in with them, like, he going to be in line.
Yeah.
Well, he's also comfortable with him. He's played with him.
More so than anything.
But to your point, Slay, like, after practice, Cam could be like, hey, Strap, let's
go
over here.
Like, you
let's
need it and I need it.
Field 3.
And they always looking out that office window.
The Enigma field. By the way, rookie numbers came out today. Quarterback Cam Ward, number 1. Warren Moon gave him that number. That's cool. Alec Iomanor, number 5. DK will wear number 17. Kevin Winston Jr., number 23. Hitman.
I like that.
Represent Kevin Winston Jr. Cornerback Marcus Harris, number 26. Khalil Mullins, the running back, linebacker term running back, number 28. Oladejo, 53. Cable. Keith Bullock number.
And he announced him, right?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did. Good call there. Keith Bullock from New York.
Yes.
With you.
Yes.
Jackson Slater, the offensive lineman, number 64, and then Gunnar Helm, number 84, the tight end. Again, you can hear Cosell and Brian Callahan break down all these guys in great detail tomorrow at the live taping of the install in the analog room at the Hutton Hotel, 1045thezone.com for tickets. Thad on the road. Again, we're not going to spend a ton of time in detail on Tennessee Titan draft picks while Cosell is in here due to the event tomorrow, but I know you have a question about Kevin Winston.
Yeah. Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I caught that from you, Mayor, as I was on my way home. Realistically, I did have a question, but that's totally cool. I just wanted to call in, and before I get to what I was going to say, I'm going to say 2 things. One, I do hate that roundabout with the flags.
I'm telling you, man.
It's terrible every time. Every time I'm driving around Nashville trying to get to where I'm going, and I'm just like, God, there's that roundabout.
That one is more difficult than the Music Row one, but yeah.
And number 2, I kind of wish Babs was in because, I know the concert's going on tonight. So actually at a lady's house fixing her stove earlier. And
Metallica, baby.
She was like, huh?
Metallica. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, Metallica, but Pantera. I mean, all day Pantera.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, that is the definition of groove metal, in my opinion. It's the only music tattoo I have tattooed on myself. But anyway, the reason I called in, I did have a question. I had a kind of a multi-tiered question about Kevin Winston. I'm not going to make it to the install, unfortunately. I would love to be there, but not asking that question. The main reason I wanted to call in was to talk to Mr. Cosell.
Well, you can ask it. He just probably won't go into great detail about Kevin Winston, but he's a great. I think he's got great skill set. Just injury problem pushed him down the draft board. What do you want to know?
Well, the main reason I wanted to call in, man, and you know, Mayor, I love you guys' show. I try and call in as much as I can. Is honestly just to ask a question to Mr. Cosell. Man, I've heard his voice. I've heard your voice, sir, forever. I really appreciate your insight as a football guy, as a Titans guy. I really love hearing you on the radio.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, my wife tells me all the time. She's like, "Why don't you get paid to talk about football? You do it with all your friends." I'm no great coach. I'm no great coach. So
that's kind of how I ended up in this area.
Yeah. If you wanted to touch on it, I 100% understand. If you don't, I'm gonna cut my question down a little bit. Assuming that he's not going to make the starting lineup initially, how do you feel he would be? A lot of defensive coordinators are running three safety sets, right?
Yeah, big nickel is what we call it. Yeah, big nickel.
Yeah, nickel, weak side linebacker. How do you feel if he comes in and he's not the starter initially? How do you feel he would fill that role and starting off? And again, great to be able to ask you a question, sir. Thank you so much.
Hey, have fun at the concert. I appreciate you, man. I think that's a great question with regard to the position, right? With Tennessee. Right. You've got Amani Hooker, who we all know from Iowa. He's been there, and we know what he is. Xavier Woods, another guy.
He's a veteran safety and a solid football. He's always been a solid football player. And my guess is they'll be the two starters as we start the season. Because Winston, number one, he's coming off an injury, and number two, he's a rookie, and he's going to have to learn Denard Wilson's system. So, Woods was signed, and I think Woods and Hooker will be the starting safeties.
Without the injury, for those that don't know, tore his ACL, only played 2 games last year, but I think he's going into month 8. Since the surgery. So
right.
with ACLs, so they could slow roll him during mini camps and things like that, but he should be good to go for training camp. But prior to the injury, really good skill set, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know, look, I watched him last summer, which turned out to be all I needed to do. I did watch the one full game he played this year, which was West Virginia week 1, and he played very well. And then he only played, I think, bits of 2 other games, and then he got hurt and shut down. But his 2023 tape was really good. My sense is that he would have been a higher pick without the injury. And you never know the answer to that. But
Nick Saban said he would have been a first-round pick. Hey,
Nick Saban knows a hell of a lot more about the safety position than I do. So we'll leave it at that.
Guy. I mean,
we'll leave it at that. Yeah. But no, I spoke to coaches who really liked Winston's tape a lot and thought that, he was a really, really good prospect. The way drafts play out, you never know. But my guess is when it got to that pick, that he was probably higher on the Titans board, and they just said, we're taking him. It wasn't a matter of position or whatever. We're just taking him because we have him rated more highly than that spot right there.
Back to Xavier Woods, in detail, what do you see on the tape from him?
Yeah, Xavier Woods has been a guy that's been around the league. He's played on the back end. He can step into the box on occasion. I remember doing him coming out of college and thinking this guy's going to be a really solid pro, and that's what he's turned out to be. He's pretty multidimensional in how he can be deployed, and I think that's what you want with safeties. You don't want to feel like, hey, one guy's just a post safety and your other guy's just a box safety. You want interchangeable safeties, and I think that he and Hooker give them the opportunity to have interchangeable safeties, which makes the defense a little more detailed and a little tougher for offenses to figure out.
What one of the guys he didn't ask about Anthony Richardson, but that's what he said he wanted to talk about. How badly do you think that rubbed everyone in that organization the wrong way when he asked to come out? Is that a big picture thing that will always affect him there? I mean, because they end up bringing Danny Dimes in, they draft a guy
They also drafted Riley Leonard in the 5th round, I believe it was. The bottom line with Richardson is he just, at this point in time, and again, I'm not one who says this is what his whole career is going to be. It might be, but we don't know. But he's just not accurate enough. I mean, there's 2 things that if you talk to coaches about the quarterback position, and there's 20 things that go into playing it well in the league, but there's 2 things that always jump right out. Decision-making and ball location. And right now, Richardson is I would say he's below average at decision-making, and he's well below average at ball placement. And every once in a while, he makes a throw that you go, oh, my God, that is a throw.
The 70-yarder into double coverage.
Yeah, you just go, oh, my God, that is just ridiculous. But you cannot miss routine throws in the NFL. You don't get that many of them, and you just can't miss them. And, so many times when I watch tape with quarterbacks, even basic route concepts that, they've probably been taught in 9th grade, you see quarterbacks just being late with those throws, and that's a problem. And they may still end up getting a completion sometimes, but I know immediately they're late with that throw. You can't be late with that throw. It's just a basic concept. And Richardson has a ways to go. They know that. I mean, they pretty much said that he's not necessarily the starter. I mean, that's what they basically said publicly.
Yeah. Wow. You know what's interesting about that? Because, I mean, you talk about so many players and you have so many opinions when you do this job, right? So you're wrong about a lot of guys. Right. We were not wrong about him.
No.
Everything you just said about Anthony Richardson, you could see if you watched enough Florida tape when he was playing at Florida, and we're big SEC guys, so we watched every Florida game, and so we knew what he was.
And I think the feeling is with guys who are special athletes like Anthony Richardson, because there's no question. I remember watching. I think I watched 10 or 11 games his last year because I knew he'd be polarizing to some degree, and you get so excited about the ability to run, not only the scrambles but the design run game, that you feel that he has that in his back pocket, and then you can teach him how to play quarterback. That's the way a lot of coaches think. Hey, while he's learning how to play, at least we then have this in our offense. But the problem is sometimes that takes away from teaching a guy how to play because he ends up leaving the pocket too early. In other words, he never really learns the nuances and subtleties of playing quarterback. Quarterback is a disciplined craft. Yeah. It's not, hey, let's roll the ball out and let's run around and make a play today. That's not the way the position is coached.
Greg Cosell with us in studio on 3HLSF has a question for you.
Because I want to ask about the 6th overall pick, Ashton Genty, going over to the Raiders, Pete Carroll's system. I've seen a lot of people.
With Bowers, and they're putting together an offense over there.
They are. I've seen a lot of people compare Genty to a Marshawn Lynch going into that Pete Carroll system. I was curious what you thought, and does Genty's tape lean towards maybe that Marshawn Lynch type of runner, or is he going to be something different?
I think he's different. Marshawn Lynch was just physically powerful. Like, he was kind of a little freakish in that regard. Genty, and I think one reason why people might think that is because Genty's probably elite trait is contact balance, his ability to absorb contact and continue going without losing momentum. But it's not the same kind of power as Lynch. Lynch was just physically overwhelm people and keep going. Genty's not quite like that, but that contact balance that he has, that ability to absorb and go is really special. And we'll see. I mean, I look, there's nothing about Genty not to like. What intrigued me was Omarion Hampton because he was 22nd to the Chargers, which I think is a great spot for him. And I really liked Omarion Hampton, too. I know there were some people in the league who didn't think there was much of a difference at all between those two backs.
And it seems like Harbaugh really loves him, too, especially when to run the ball. Big size back. What's his style, Coach Hill, for the people that don't know him?
Well, I think the comparison that a lot of people made, and I think it's somewhat valid for people who do watch the league, and this guy's in your division, is there's some similarity stylistically to Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. Tough physical inside runner. Taylor's probably a little faster, but Hampton can, hit it and take it to the house. Yeah. But, it's funny. When I watched Hampton, and I was very fortunate. The previous coaching staff at North Carolina, they invited me down last year, and I was at their training camp in August for 2 days. So I got to see them, go through training camp. Hampton is one of those guys, when I watched his tape, I just said to myself, this is an NFL runner. Sometimes, Slay, and you know what I'm talking about when you watch an athlete, you probably see it with basketball. Yeah. You just say to yourself, you're not even talking about the traits necessarily, but you just say to yourself, that guy's a player. Yep. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, don't you say that sometimes?
Yeah, I come back raving about it to Mayor.
Yeah. Hampton I came away watching his tape going, this guy's an NFL back. Yeah. Obviously I have a list of all his traits and all that because you got to keep watching him. But I think Hampton is a foundation back in this league. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh thought the same thing. And with that system with Greg Roman, he's going to get 20 carries a game.
Yeah. I saw an interesting piece. You guys were talking about Ashton Genty, and I love him. I think he's going to be, all Pro Bowl.
Louis Riddick compared him to Emmitt Smith.
That's where I was going.
And Louis even said, I know that sounds crazy because it's Emmitt Smith, but I really see Emmitt Smith in his running style.
So I saw that comparison, and this guy was putting tape up of both of them, and it's tough, all-time leading rusher, but he was talking about the contact balance, and he was showing Emmett and showing Genty, and man, it looked similar.
I know.
Now, different level.
Right.
But,
and that's why I'm always leery of comparing guys to Hall of Famers, but usually it's stylistic. But the problem is people automatically take it to mean you're making an exact comparison, and you're not. You're really talking about stylistically what they look like as runners or as whatever position it might be.
Yep. More with Greg Cosell, 3HL Thursday edition. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Want to talk about my friend John Pirtle, president and CEO of eSpaces, and talk more about eSpaces. Pirtle can wait. eSpaces is an incredible option for you if you want to get out of the hectic office world and still get your work done, or maybe you've got a lot of things going on at home, dogs running around, kids, all that stuff. eSpaces has you covered, man. This is the place for you. eSpaces, redefining co-working with exceptional offices for every business. 2 new Middle Tennessee locations opening this July. Cool Springs at Corporate Center and in Brentwood at City Park. This is an opportunity for you to get work done, again, outside of maybe a hectic workspace or a hectic home space. eSpaces is there for you. eSpaces.com is the website designed for entrepreneurs, teams, established professionals, featuring private offices, team suites. They have meeting rooms for you, fully equipped. You can have meetings with other people coming in to you there. 24/7 access, flexible terms as well. Again, eSpaces.com, whether you are scaling up or just getting started. eSpaces provides flexibility without compromise. Want to check it out? Tours are available now. Reserve your space early. Visit eSpaces.com. That's eSpaces.com. See all 15 locations online. Again, that's eSpaces.com.
What's happening, y'all? You're probably out there looking for the perfect golf car since the weather is warming up, and you want to be able to get from the house to the pool area. Yeah, they got something for you. Boswell's Golf Cars, they can get you there in style. All you have to worry about is what music you're going to listen to, because all of them have all the amenities to them. When you're looking for Bluetooth, you got the lights on it, so you don't have to worry about getting home before dark. So much more. And also, Boswell, they will be sponsoring a hole-in-one at the golf tournament for 104.5 The Zone on 4 different holes. If you get a hole-in-one, you will win a beautiful new golf car. How crazy is that, y'all? I know. You got to get on out there. So don't worry. They are going to give me a big sleigh ride that can come through, and I promise you it has everything, all the bells and whistles, but you can get these too. You're looking to get a facelift on the golf car that you already have? Get there. Yamaha, EasyGo, Cushman, Evolution, and Icon, they work on them all. Full line of brands. Just get to the showroom floor. Tell Tony and Braden Big Sleigh sent you over to 111 Transit Ave. That's Boswell's Golf Cars. Go get your
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay. Greg Cosell in studio for one more segment. Again, you can catch him tomorrow. Live taping of The Install with Greg Cosell, hosted by Buck Rising, tomorrow night in the Analog. Very cool venue at the Hutton Hotel right there on West End. Cosell will break down the Titans draft picks in great detail. They'll have a screen behind them. They'll go through tape and all kinds of things. Titans head coach Brian Callahan will be there. He's bringing film. So it's going to be a really cool and rare opportunity to get a detailed look at the Titans draft class. Just a few tickets left. You don't want to miss this opportunity. 1045thezone.com to get that done. Dan in Lewisburg wants to ask you about Jalen Milroe. Dan, what's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good, man.
Good.
Good. Hey, when the Seahawks took Jalen Milroe, obviously they had some plans for him instead of maybe necessarily going under center immediately, maybe lining him up in the slot or wide receiver, maybe in the backfield, or maybe having him and Sam Darnold swapping snaps. But what do you initially think the Seahawks be using to get their value from him?
Yeah, my sense is, and again, you never know this because coaches, they don't tell you what they're going to do. But one of the things that's become really big in this league, you saw it with the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, you see it with the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, you see it with the Bills with Josh Allen, is the quarterback design run game in the red zone. And I think that's one area where you could well see Milroe become a factor and get snaps there, because that design quarterback run game in the red zone has become really, really big, and it's really hard to defend. And by the way, I actually thought Milroe, I know a lot of people thought he did not play as well this year as he did in 2023, and I think the reason for that was he missed some deep balls, and that's what people saw. But I thought in terms of playing the quarterback position, of what he saw, getting rid of the football, I actually thought that there was some incremental improvement from this year, from 2023. So
it looked like he was trying to grow, because I've got some Alabama fans that are friends of mine that were really irritated that he didn't run around as much last year like he did the previous year, and I think there was an attempt by him to try to stay in the pocket
to play the position,
or keep his eyes down the field.
To play the position more the way he'd have to play it in the league. But there's no question this guy is a dynamic, explosive athlete. He's more explosive than Lamar. I mean, he's a faster straight line, and the body type, I mean, that guy's really well built. I know somebody in the Alabama office, they say he's an incredibly intelligent kid. In fact, they say sometimes he overthinks it instead of just going out and playing ball, that he overthinks it. He's so intelligent that he just wants to do everything perfectly. And, when you play like that, Slay, and you know this, if you try to play like that, you end up, it's hard to play like that.
Yeah, you stall out.
Yeah.
It's not as smooth. You got to play without thinking. That's the goal.
Remember Jaden Daniels when he was at LSU, and Brian, I think it was before the Tennessee game. Right after the Tennessee game. And he was like, he publicly said, Jaden needs to learn that the window is narrow, and you need to throw guys open.
Right.
And not just wait until somebody's open and then hit.
And that's hard.
After that public comment, like Jaden Daniels went nuts.
And the thing is, sometimes for guys, you can tell them that, and Daniels obviously can do that, and we've seen what's happened. But some guys, you can talk to them about it. You could show it on the screen. You can show it on the iPad. You can talk about it. You can try to do it in practice. And some guys it's not in their DNA. They don't see the game like that. We talked about that. I remember we had a great conversation couple years ago about point guards the same way. You can talk about, hey, you want to make this pass, that pass. Some guys just see it.
It's just there.
Some guys just see it. I remember we were talking about the Kansas State guard a couple of years ago in the playoffs. Remember that Kansas State
guy?
Yeah. He just saw it. Some guys just see it, and other guys don't. And you could talk to them all day long. It doesn't register like that. That's not the way they see the game.
That's right. And I wish we could go back right now and put on the film and watch the body language of Jaden Daniels' receivers leading up to the end of that Tennessee game. And then you start watching games after, like they would start running routes better, start running them a little bit longer, staying alive longer, just because of Jaden Daniels now looking to get rid of the ball and throw it. But at first, dude, when I watched that Tennessee game, I was watching their body language, watching the receivers, and this is some dogs that he had. They were going over there running the routes like halfway and like, man, we're not going to keep running this route, dog. We can go on over to the sideline. Like, he's not going to throw it.
And that's one of the things I look for when I watch college quarterbacks, and sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, is window throws. Because in the NFL, you've got to make window throws between defenders, and those throws have to be made before guys get into the window. If you wait till they get in the window, it's way too late. It's over. Yep. And that's a hard thing. Some guys can do it naturally. Other guys can't.
Let's take one more call for Greg Cosell. Taylor in Nashville. Taylor, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I had a chance to be at Georgia Military College a few years ago with some guys that are in the league, and I know Anthony Belton got drafted in the second round by the Packers. I just wanted to see what you thought about his upside and how you felt like he was going to be as a pro.
Yeah, Anthony Belton's a fascinating guy because when he did it right in pass protection, he looked as good as any tackle in the league. I'm telling you, he's big, he's long. He was there were two tackles that fascinated me the most in this draft. Both went in the second round. Anthony Belton and Ozzie Trapillo from Boston College, who I think might have gone to the Bears. I can't remember. But Belton, when he does it right, man, does he look good because he's a big man who moves well. Yeah. And, those are the kinds of guys. My guess is offensive line coaches love those guys because they see they can do it. They see it's within them. And then the goal is just to get him to do it more often. But Belton, he was one of the most fascinating O-tackle prospects because he's a legit O-tackle prospect. You're not thinking, to me anyway, you're not thinking about moving him inside. He's a legit O-tackle prospect.
Here we are, Greg Cosell.
It's here, baby.
That was fun, man.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That flew by. I really appreciate you doing that. Again, a big night tomorrow over at the Hutton Hotel.
Can't wait. Really looking forward to it.
1045thezone.com for tickets. And y'all are going to talk ball. But it's going to be in a fun way. And, again, the head coach will be there, which I know you're excited about.
I'm really excited about it.
For tickets, there are just a few left. 1045thezone.com. Maybe they're gone. I don't know. 1045thezone.com. We'll see you over there, man.
All right, appreciate it. That was fun, guys. Thanks.
There he is, Greg Cosell. When we come back, we'll talk more Titans football. You'll hear from new Titans wide receiver Tyler Lockett next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
All right, y'all. Now, car accidents can happen all the time, and they are not expected. That's what makes it an accident. Like, oh, no, wait a minute. What about your car? Well, as long as you're all right, you got somebody that'll go out there and fight for you. That's Bart Durham Injury Law. That's where they come in. Now, you know how life can change in an instant? A car wreck can throw everything off. I mean, from your job, your bills, just your peace of mind. That's when you need our good friends over at Bart Durham Injury Law to come in. And that's Blair Durham. He steps in. Put the gloves on, and he go battle for you. Him and his team have been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Call BDIL. That's Bart Durham Injury Law. 615-242-9000. That's the number. Yes, you see the commercials and everything. You may be in one, getting a big check. 615-242-9000. They're here 24/7 and ready to fight for you. That's Blair Durham and the team over at Bart Durham Injury Law.
All right, we love our local sports around Middle Tennessee, and the local team, Legacy Group at UBS Financial Services in Franklin, has always been such a great supporter of women and girls in sports, and so they want to give a shout out to some local girls sports events that are coming up. And how about this one? A girls flag football statewide invitational tournament held at Richard Siegel Soccer Complex. That's in the borough, May 7th and 8th. Flag football, not a sanctioned high school sport this year, so no official state champion, but certainly could become official in the future. How cool. Tournament will feature pool play the first day and championship rounds on Thursday. That brought to you by the Legacy Group at UBS Financial Services in Franklin, Tennessee. If you have $1 million or more to invest and you want to do that with a local team, call financial advisors Jim Candela, Brent Thompson, David Reynolds, and Robert Reynolds. 615-721-4921. See if they can help you achieve your financial goals. For their client relationship summary disclosures, visit ubs.com/relationship summary. UBS Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA/SIPC.
Good evening. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. The Tennessee Titans had a press conference today where Brian Callahan, Chig Okonkwo, Tyler Lockett, Xavier Woods, and Peter Skronsky all met with the media earlier today. Chig Okonkwo, who's entering his fourth year with the team, was asked about turning the page after having the worst record in the NFL last season.
I mean, I think we're in a unique spot. Like I said, having the number one pick, I feel like the excitement here is more so than everything that happened in the past. We're just all ready to forget about it and move on. So for us, it's really just more so looking towards the future because that's, everything we're doing in the building right now is geared towards that.
The deadline to pick up fifth-year options has officially passed for 2022 first-rounders. The Titans did not pick up the option on wide receiver Treylon Burks. Looking around the league, the Ravens, they picked up their fifth-year option on safety Kyle Hamilton, but did not pick it up for guard Tyler Lindbaum. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Thursday.
Thursday.
Ron Slay is here.
I'm in the building. I'm so excited about our golf event.
When is that thing?
June 9th.
Oh, June 9th. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. June 9th. See, the reason I'm excited is because I'm probably only going to play maybe 3 holes. And then
you're going to play 3 holes?
Yeah. Now everybody play like 9 or 18.
Well, so this has developed into a situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even on my calendar yet, but I better put it there.
Sure.
We used to play like 18 holes.
Yeah.
But then we ended up on teams with like 5-6 guys. And so then we were like, well, I'll play this hole. You play that hole.
And we're just trying to keep things moving.
Smoke cigars.
And have a good time.
So 3 holes is your goal? Is that the over-under?
Yeah.
At the Zone Golf Tournament?
Yeah. And the reason being, I got a sleigh ride golf cart brought to you by Boswell Golf Carts.
Boswell does a great job with
They do a phenomenal job.
Is it a custom sleigh ride?
It is a sleigh ride.
I can't wait to see that.
I'm talking about lights, Bluetooth, since I'm Android Play. I don't know what it, what's easier? I don't know what it doesn't have. How about that?
Heated seats?
Heated seats.
No, it doesn't have heated seats.
Man, I'm telling you.
It got cooled seats?
Cooling seats.
No, it doesn't.
Man, the sleigh ride.
It got AC in there?
Man, I wanted to get AC, but then it'll be hard to keep opening up and closing the door when I get out to go hit my shot. So I said leave the doors off.
So you got natural AC.
There you go. I was thinking about, I told them before I left, what if we get the, this is Tony and Braden I'm talking to. What if we get the eject roof? Like when you just
golf cart ain't got no roof.
So you get it, Zelf, and then as soon as you hit the button and it ejects, it starts playing car ain't got no roof. That's like man, that's all right there, man.
Wait, so what would it do?
Eject roof.
So pretend you're driving it, and then
I'm driving. I'm
like if James Bond was hanging out in a golf cart in a neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm pulling up to the knife hole right there.
Oh,
I'm like, oh man, we gotta hurry up and jump out. Hit the hood. Hit the roof. Car ain't got no roof, and then that's it.
First time I've heard
Everybody no, it's working its way. It's working its way. It's got
you make a trip to Boswell's, and next thing you know,
car ain't got no roof. That's right.
Okay.
Yes, Earl.
Okay. I was wondering what hearing from Tyler Lockett might do to you, but
there's gonna be a video that's gonna put that ain't really doing. There's gonna be a video put out though. I cut a few spots for him. Me rolling around.
Okay, so
Murfreesboro Road.
So
wow.
At the golf tournament, before we go on, you and I are gonna have to go out there, and I'm gonna need you to give the 3HL account a tour of the sleigh ride golf cart, and I'm going to put that everywhere.
Presented by
that people can
Boswell.
see it. Presented by Boswell.
Yeah.
And we'll sponsor, or we'll shout him out multiple times in the video.
So this is going to require Slay to get there early.
Oh, I'm gonna be there early.
He gonna be there all day.
Yeah, like I can take a nap on my golf cart. Like that's how cool it is. I'm telling you, man.
Dawn's always nervous about these things.
Yeah,
and then you're like, as long as I get a nap, I'm good.
I'm straight.
By 3 o'clock,
I am good. I shut it down by 1. Naps about 2:58. Rolling now.
I might have to find someone else to run Zone TV so I can come hang out in the golf cart with you all day.
You should. You supposed to be running in the morning?
I'm probably gonna be running it most of the day.
Oh yeah, you got to come get with me, Zell. It's a good time with me.
I might come early.
Bert was with me last time.
For that show, we could also get a rideshare company to sponsor.
That was tripping.
The ride home presented by Uber.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'm gonna have Slay. We're gonna find a driver, and they're gonna drive your golf cart and drive us home on your golf cart. Drive the whole thing home.
It can do that. It can get up.
It's street legal.
Nice speed. Yeah,
they make them all street legal now.
Yep. I had to switch. I'm gonna have to switch my tires up.
No, dude, they only go like 35 miles an hour.
I don't know. This is Slay's.
Right.
This is Slay's.
I like it.
It could do whatever.
There's never been a golf cart on the interstate.
Oh no, I can do it. They already told me I could.
The sleigh ride golf cart is going to be the first golf cart ever on the interstate.
They said
legally, the first ever legal golf cart.
I'm about to get on the meeting.
Speaking of ride shares, and we'll get more Titans talk going here in a second. You'll hear from Tyler Lockett. But have you seen the little cars rolling around downtown with the spinning thing on the hood, and then all the sensors
and stuff?
No.
What is it doing?
They're testing the market. They're not here yet, but those cars do not have a driver. They're called autonomous rideshare. It's called Waymo 1.
I've seen that plenty of times. What you mean they don't got no driver?
They have no driver. So like it's a rideshare thing. They're in LA, Phoenix, San Francisco, Austin. It's like Uber or Lyft. Like you call for the car, whatever, and the car picks you up. There's no driver in it.
No, thank you. I'm good.
It won't go on the interstate like Slay's golf cart. But
I'm good.
So all of those sensors, it's incredible. I did a deep dive on this because I saw the car driving. I was like, what are these things? So I did a deep dive on it. But anyway, it's incredible, the technology in here. So they've got sensors all over the car, and they can anticipate things. And so the other day, I was crossing the street, and I was just standing on the sidewalk because people don't stop for crosswalks, even though it's illegal.
Yep.
And so I was just waiting, and this autonomous car stopped and let me cross the street.
Now, I don't know how it is here, but in Europe, if you hit someone on the crosswalk has the right of way every time. Mm-hmm. So when people walk up to it like you stopped, they're trained not to stop. Like from birth, they get up.
They don't stop?
No, they walk straight across the crosswalk. If you don't notice them, like if you hit them, I think it's like a $15,000.
Well, remember Dante Stallworth's ordeal?
Yep.
And he wasn't in the crosswalk.
No, so that's my. I'm saying that to say, how do these little autonomous cars? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
How do they know? So who has to pay the fine if they hit me?
I guess a company. See, I wouldn't. This is what I was thinking while I was reading about it. There's no way I would want to own the liability, right?
No.
Like I wouldn't want to own that company because of the liability.
I wouldn't want to ride in it knowing that, man, I'm back here fried in the back seat coming from somebody's event or a bar or something, a good dinner, and I'm in the back seat and nobody's driving in the front.
Right. And then, like, say you fall asleep. How are they going to wake you up when you get to the thing?
Oh, yeah. What, they going to start honking the horn? Disturbing everybody?
They just going to know how to take you home?
Yeah, like who's telling them?
Because your account's in their system, so maybe they'll just secondarily take you home.
Or they take you home to wherever your account's set up. So say if my account was set up in Chattanooga.
It takes you all the way to chat, and then you wake up and you got like an $800 bill, and you're like, whoa, what is this?
That's the other thing. They their goal is to set up situations like that where they go, long trips.
Oh, well, Uber do that now. Yeah. They've done me like that before.
But can you imagine with no driver going from here to Knoxville?
No, around the mountains? Hell no. What? Man, are you crazy going to Atlanta? You go around Mount Eagle. going to Chattanooga, get around Mount Eagle. And the driver ain't in there?
Yeah.
And you going down that hill?
They follow the speed limit. Well, so that's their goal. They don't go on the interstate yet. They don't.
It is a back way to get on up to Knoxville, though.
So it does take longer than like an Uber, and it's a little bit more expensive. But you don't have to tip.
I bet you don't. Ain't nobody there.
Here you go, boss. Just lay it on the front seat.
Hey, you go buy some gas for it?
Just lay it on the front.
Getting an oil change for it. Hey, here's money for your next oil change.
Hey,
car.
dog. No,
that's another good point. How do they charge these things? Like, they just automatically go to a charging station?
Yeah, just on their own. And who's hooking it up?
Who's maintaining the cars?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
This is a wild.
Is there a garage where they all get
Top
stored?
tier says, I'll ride in it. Would y'all ride in it? Hit us up on the chat, YouTube, Facebook Live,
around
Twitter,
downtown, maybe. I ain't getting on.
If you walk, you'll notice them now that I mentioned it to you, and now that you know what they are, because you'll know, like, when I see that car, there's no driver in that car.
I'm trying to look in that car.
I will ride in it when I am fully like sober and can comprehend the situation. And
that's gonna be even scarier.
And when I'm with somebody.
That's gonna be scary.
Nah, because I need to be able to react on my own if the computer starts going
what you gonna do? Jump
haywire.
out? The door's locked. He ain't gotta let you out.
I'm unlocking from the inside.
Can you imagine Babs in this situation?
No, she'll lose her mind.
She'd either love it or lose her mind.
Yeah, one of the two.
I don't know which one.
Where would she sit? In the front seat or the back seat?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think
she
they
may
let
try
you
to
in
get
the
in
front
control.
seat.
No, I didn't. Now, what if I need to get control?
Yeah, front seat.
You sit in the front.
Yeah, because if it starts going crazy, I need to grab the wheel.
But what if you grab the wheel and it's got an electrical shock that comes out?
If that's the case, I'm not riding in it. I ain't getting in.
Travis says, hell no.
Telling you, dog.
Jolyn says yes and try to hack it while I'm in it.
Now, Jason said, Twitch, please.
Car ain't got no driver.
Ain't got no drive show.
But it does have a roof.
It has a roof.
It has to have a roof because it's got that big sensor up there.
Hey.
But anyway, that sensor can see 3 miles around. 3 miles.
Yo.
That's what it said. Or that's what it read because I was reading it, not listening to it. Anyway.
Also, what do you do if it accidentally does get in a wreck? Like, who does the insurance?
Run. No face. No.
I was going to say.
There ain't no face on the driver either.
Yeah,
so who are you going to argue with?
Just
like, you get hit by this guy.
Waiting on. And then the car just start easing off.
Watch it leave.
It starts going back to its root. It starts following its
and you just
root
gotta
again.
sit. You just got to sit there.
All right, let's hear from Tyler Lockett. Maybe he could outrun one, maybe. Although he's going into year 12, man. And the thing I'm concerned about with Tyler Lockett, I love all the stories about him contacting all the draft picks, kind of like Cam Ward did. And he was apparently a Titans fan when he was a teenager. But this is a veteran president, so like they're trying to surround the quarterback with like red zone targets. Like Io Manor is supposed to be a red zone target. Gunnar Helm supposed to be great in the red zone. Big target too, right? So I get it. Tyler Lockett talking about coming to a new situation. He's been with the Seahawks his entire career, 11 seasons. He's now got a new situation with Tennessee.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be new just because, I've been at the same place for 10 years. And now being able to go somewhere else it's a lot different. Like I said, you're looking at different faces, a lot of different coaches that I haven't had the chance to play with, different players. Some players I have played with. But for the most part, it can also be refreshing. The biggest thing that I think you battle with, that any player battles with, is just the comparison of, they did this here, we do this here, and you pick and choose what you like or don't like. But the other thing is you just got to be able to buy in. I think Nashville is a great city, and it's been pretty cool so far. Like, the teammates are very welcoming, the coaches are very welcoming. Coming in OTAs, we've been installing a lot. So I tell you, it's been a lot. But, it's been fun at the same time, learning everybody's names in treatment with the medical staff, then having great connections and conversations. Just went in the weight room with the weight staff. So it's been really good just within my first couple of days of being here from Monday to today.
Tyler Lockett, new wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans.
That's interesting. A lot of install going on. This ain't going to be the same old offense you saw last year, people.
Yeah, but we get calls from people that, like, this guy doesn't fit in this offense. Like, how do you know?
Yeah, you don't know what offense.
How do you know? More from Tyler Lockett when we come back. A lot of y'all saying you would not get in the car. Also, somebody asked, DJ from Nashville, who gets the ticket for speeding? The passenger?
Feel me?
Apparently, this thing does not go over the speed limit. So that part can be computerized, right? Like, that's an easy thing.
Somebody got to talk to you where you know.
I don't want anybody talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, you talk to your sunglasses all the time?
Bingo.
More 3HL next. I want to tell you about my friends at United Structural Systems. You may have foundation issues with all this rain that we've had. You may have waterproofing issues. United Structural Systems can help you out. United Structural Systems is a foundation repair and waterproofing company. That has served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. Maybe some waterproofing symptoms. You might have some standing water in your crawl space, musty odors, cracks in your basement flooring, hardwood floors cupping. Your house may be trying to tell you something. Putting off a moisture issue in your home is bad for your health. It could lead to more expensive repairs down the road. Check out USSTN.com, United Structural Systems. These are your guys. Homeowners trust USS. Again, USSTN.com. More than 30,000 100% satisfied residential customers, and they will make everything easy for you. They'll explain everything they're doing. They'll explain what needs to be done. They're not trying to upsell you ever. They just want to help you out and keep your home in order. Homeowners trust USS. USS, keeping homes dry and safe. We guarantee our best. Call USS, 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855 or USSTN.com.
All right, y'all. Now, car accidents can happen all the time, and they are not expected. That's what makes it an accident. Like, oh, no, wait a minute. What about your car? Well, as long as you're all right, you got somebody that'll go out there and fight for you. That's Bart Durham Injury Law. That's where they come in. Now, you know how life can change in an instant. A car wreck can throw everything off. I mean, from your job, your bills, just your peace of mind. That's when you need our good friends over at Bart Durham Injury Law to come in. And that's Blair Durham. He steps in, put the gloves on, and he go battle for you. Him and his team have been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Call BDIL. That's Bart Durham Injury Law. 615-242-9000. That's the number. Yes, you see the commercials and everything. You may be in one, getting a big check. 615-242-9000. They're here 24/7 and ready to fight for you. That's Blair Durham and the team over at Bart Durham Injury Law.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Dawn Davenport on assignment. How sore do you think she injured herself playing 2-on-2 beach volleyball today?
I don't know. I'm so waiting on a progress report.
Text her, see
if
she got
put
hurt.
in the group.
She got to be dealing with something. All that talk about Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Telling us not to do things.
But you're going to go out here and do it.
Do you just reach an age where you just give up and all you can do is walk around? And you don't do anything?
No,
like
you just got to do everything at a slower pace. It's pickleball. Pickleball don't require a lot of movement.
Pickleball players will probably take offense to that.
No, it's an event. It's levels. Beginner, he don't take a lot of movement. I went in there and played with not even stretching. It was moving. I mean,
I'd move
full
you.
on sweat.
You're too tall to play something with a racket.
Nah, that's fun.
I'd eat you up. I've never even played pickleball.
Well, we're going to have to go there.
Everybody tells me.
We're going to go.
That is true about pickleball. You reach a certain age and everybody starts playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Like that's what everybody turned to.
It's fun.
It's fun?
Hell
Where did you play?
Right around, what was it? It's a little indoor facility, a workout facility over there by the big guitar.
I love how we give directions.
You don't know what
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The big guitar?
Yeah, it has Nashville written on the handle of the guitar.
I don't know where that's at.
Yeah, right over here. Like if you going towards Gabby's, like the old Grill Stadium, you turn left in front of Gabby's and you go around that curve.
I knew
right
exactly where you were talking about.
Right down.
Oh, I got a response from Dawn, by the way.
Okay, Dawn played. Dawn is in, I keep wanting to say Mobile. She's not in Mobile. She is in Gulf Shores, Alabama, in advance of the college beach volleyball championships, and she will be broadcasting that deal on ESPN2 tomorrow and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
But she played 2-on-2 beach volleyball today.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
So I said, we want to know if you got hurt playing beach volleyball or how sore you are today. She said, not hurt, but holy Shiano, I thought my heart was going to beat out of my chest, and freaking Olympian Holly McPeak kept saying, go Davenport.
So you can't stop.
That's a hell of a message right there.
She said, I'm old and slow and out of shape, and also it's freaking beach that I never played.
Yeah, it's way different than court volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wish there was like an extended video on that, and we could get our guy Brandon Rosenthal down at Lipscomb to analyze the tape.
Break some Dawn Davenport volleyball tape.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for her to send the extended version. I know it has to be one. It has to be one. She needs to share that.
But the Olympian said she was doing a great job.
She just wrote us.
She was playing with national champions and gold medalists from the Olympics. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And the fact that she kept up. Good for her.
I needed her to hurt herself.
Frederick said Andre Agassi is turning pro in pickleball. I've seen that. I've seen like these older tennis dudes turn to that sport.
It's serious. It is very competitive, too.
Tony says, I'm at that stage, Mayor, but I'm 32.
Darn. Tony, fight it off, Tony. You can get back out there.
Keith says the big guitar is actually the old Sounds scoreboard from Greer Stadium. Yep.
I didn't know they moved that over there.
Oh, you didn't know that was what that was? I thought that's why you said it.
No, I just thought they made a new one.
If Slade said that, I would have recognized who you're talking about.
What?
The old Sound Stadium. I
did recognize it from what he said.
Oh, I didn't hear you say Greer Stadium. I just heard the big guitar with the Nashville on it.
You said Greer Stadium after the first time you explained it, but I got it from the first time you explained it.
There you go, y'all. I didn't know that was the guitar.
Like, people that are from Nashville will give directions to y'all, like, hey, you go down Hillsborough Road past where Davis Kid used to be, past the Bluebird on the left. Joe's Village Inn used to be on the right. Like, you give directions on things that used to be things.
We need landmarks, dog.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what street to turn at.
But I give you landmarks that aren't even there anymore, and you still know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Those are the ones I want. Those are the ones I want. Yep.
615-737-1045. All right, you want more from Tyler Lockett?
Give me more from Tyler Lockett.
Give me some more. Tyler Lockett on why he chose, you ready, Seth? The Titans.
I was talking to Jim yesterday, and a lot of people didn't know this, but, I actually grew up a Titans fan when I was younger, and I'm not just, saying that. I actually went to the Titans versus Baltimore playoff game.
Oh.
It was my mom, my best friend, Dante, and I want to say his mom as well. And we drove all the way up to Nashville, stayed over there by Vanderbilt, and we went to the game. So I was a fan of, Vince Young, fan of Finnegan. That was one of my favorite cornerbacks to watch because he always got into a fight every single time. Linebacker was Bullock. You had Albert Haynesworth, who was nasty at the defensive tackle, and I even watched Britt at receiver. So, and the other person, you obviously can't forget Vince Young and Chris Johnson, but even Griffin. It was just fun. So ever since Vince Young got drafted, I was always trying to keep up with Tennessee and stuff, and that was pretty much after my dad ended up playing in the league. So when he was done, I started to navigate the Tennessee, and then after that, I just started watching more college.
I love it. So Tyler Lockett, to put it in directionally for y'all, if you would have got off at 440 and you're headed down West End toward downtown, and you roll past where the West End Cooker used to be on the right and Houston's used to be on the left.
Wow.
Where things used to be.
Restaurants.
Yeah, and then don't go down Elliston Place. Stay on West End unless you want to go to Rotiers where Rotiers used to be.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Boy,
that French bread cheeseburger.
Some restaurants.
And I love that they're trying over there at Bridgestone too with Rotiers over there. But anyway, Tyler Lockett, Titans fan. How about that?
Thank you, Tyler.
Tyler Lockett was asked this: what does he know about Cam Ward? And he's getting this information from Cam's cousin, Quandre Diggs.
Oh, yeah. Well, Quandre always used to talk to me about Cam ever since he was leaving Incarnate Word and went to Washington State, where I got the chance to be able to watch him. And if I didn't watch him, I heard about him the night before the game because Quandre made sure to tell us his stats, how many touchdowns he threw. And definitely Quandre was his number one fan. And so just being able to tune in a lot more because we're on the West Coast and we got to see a lot of their games being played. And then seeing him thrive in Miami was super, super cool. And again, just that connection with Quandre and Cam, I've started to be able to learn more about him. And so ever since he's gotten drafted, Quandre put us in a group message and I was able to talk to him and stuff like that, the day before the draft. But he's definitely a cool dude, super eager, and he cares a lot about being great and cares a lot about football.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all can hear it, but every time he talked,
he's thumping the hell out of that
bang
table.
the table.
How do we not hear that?
It was driving me nuts recording this.
How would we not hear that?
I don't know. Some people might not, but
when Babsy gets going, she does that too.
It was every
she does
single
that too.
question. I was like, Tyler, stop, please.
Hayden says Ellison anymore? Nope.
No,
it's
man.
Gone. It's gone. Ellison Place Soda Shop though is down there.
That and
remember Vandyland? Did you ever go to Vandyland?
Yeah, no, I never went, but I remember it. Yep.
Milkshakes there.
Yeah. The what
Houston's in the
it was a drugstore right there on the corner. That's not there anymore either. They got
no, that's right. They're
Rotiers.
building something. Last time I drove by there.
Yep.
That's a weird plot of land though, because
is.
it's on a triangle.
Yep.
Basically. Tyler Lockett on helping rebuild the culture as a veteran player in that locker room. Yep. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the number one thing I always try to do is just bridge the gap. And, you got to have those players who understand what the coaches are trying to get done and accomplish, and the players who sometimes don't understand what's being done. You got to have somebody in the middle that's going to be able to tie everything together and get everybody over that hump to the other side. And so for me, that might be one of the reasons they brought me here. But at the same time, I feel like I have true value that maybe other people don't see. And so, for me, it's always about being your best self, but being able to help build the team that's going to be able to set the type of culture that the coaches want. And so sometimes you talk, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you listen, sometimes you follow. Sometimes, each person kind of comes with different variety of ways to be able to talk to them and coach them. But, it's just you get to this place in the league and, you try to be able to help everybody be the best self that they can be to be able to help the team.
Man, I like this dude.
Yeah, Tyler, I mean,
You down?
Yeah, he's a football player and personable. That's one of the biggest things.
Dewey Cheatham and Hal mentioned Rio Bravo across from Houston. So that, yeah. I can't believe I didn't mention that when I mentioned Houston's. But it's funny, back in the day, like Houston's would have a line out the door for like 2-hour wait, and Rio Bravo would too.
Yeah.
But Rio Bravo was just for the porch. If you wanted to eat inside the restaurant, you could any day you pulled up there.
Yeah, that was.
But if you wanted to eat on the porch, you were going to wait 2 hours.
That's when West End was really popping.
Popping.
Yeah.
Because downtown wasn't nothing.
Yep.
I didn't think about that in those terms, but that's right.
I didn't either.
Look at us.
Not downtown popping.
Yeah. Tyler Lockett, what about the challenge coming to a new team?
I wouldn't say it's a challenge. I mean, I obviously feel like when you come in, you got to be able to find your place, right? So you got to be able to gain the respect of others. Can't just come in and just be up here, right? So you got to be able to follow suit, and you got to be able to know when to be able to do certain things. But there's also, I think, a level of respect of people ever since I came into the team, because they're like, hey, man, you've been in the league for 10 years going on 11. And, you know, so there are a lot of people that listen and want to be able to learn and like, hey, man, how can I get to year 11? And so I don't even feel like I'm in year 11. I still feel like I'm a young guy coming into a locker room full of a whole bunch of vets. But there is a respect level, I think, just within the team. And I think that's where it starts, with the coaches, with the players. And I think that there's a lot here to build from.
That's a good mentality to have, because you're as old as you feel at times. So I gladly accept that, Tyler Lockett.
Somebody made who made this list, Zeph Dog?
At the 420 Titan.
Titans media lineup for the Titans. Like if we all had a position on the team. And so Blaine Bishop's playing safety, which is exactly where he needs to be. Will Compton at linebacker, I get it. Zach Bingham at linebacker from A to Z Sports. Kayla Anderson at edge rusher.
Look at the other edge rusher.
Babsy Davenport. So you got Babs and Kayla at edge, with Zach Bingham and Will Compton at inside linebacker. Will Bowling at defensive end. Do these guys know how skinny Will Bowling is?
No,
and I
clue.
understand that Will has he doesn't like to be called skinny, but
he's slim. That's what
he's slim, and he has been working out and has. I should.
And he's a runner.
Yeah, he's a runner.
Why would you put him on the line?
Yeah,
you need to put him somewhere he's going to get open in space. Yeah, receiver, running back, or something.
Teron Davenport at wide receiver. Zach Lyons at right guard.
Well, who's winning that battle, Easton Freeze or Zach Lyons?
And next to Zach, it should be his guy Stoney.
Yeah.
Ramon Foster at left guard.
That's going to be
and Taylor Lewan at left tackle.
See, they should have flipped Ramon and Zach. That way you had like a strength on each side.
No, you just run it left.
Side, yeah.
You're just running
or
left.
just run left?
Yeah. Austin Stanley at tight end. Derek Mason at wide receiver.
Well,
Jim Wyatt is the quarterback.
Smart.
Now, this is ridiculous. Buck Rising at running back. I'm not giving him the ball. Are you kidding me?
Come on.
What is he going to do with it?
He's doing sideline duties. Clipboard.
I think the biggest disappointment is Slay is not on the field.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. But seriously, Buck Rising, where should he be? Like, we're not giving the ball to Buck Rising 25 times. He's just going to take a knee.
He should be in the booth. Getting on somebody's nerves on the headset.
Kicker is Amy Wells. Titans Amy is the kicker. I'm the long snapper. I love that. I'll just stand over here, y'all. You go do your thing. Head coach is Coach Mack.
Makes sense.
Offensive coordinator, Taylor Zarzer, who still needs a nickname. Defensive coordinator, Ron Slay.
Where are you seeing this at?
Up at the top.
You're up at the top, right under the Titans media lineup. Between that and Blaine Bishop.
Oh.
I think
Coach Mack, the head coach.
Yeah.
I think Slay needs to be an edge rusher.
Why would I be coaching?
That's what I said. I think you need to be an edge rusher.
I'm saying that's what they want me to do with all this energy. Just go coach.
Will Bowling just texted me. He said someone called him fat in the chat the other day, so he's cool with being skinny again. Will is not fat, man. Good Lord.
Schaefer just told me I'm a tight end. I'm like Antonio Gates. Thanks, Schaefer.
Yeah, I mean, who's playing tight end?
Me.
I know, but instead.
Lucas could be a tight end.
But who they got right there? They got Austin Stanley right there.
So Lucas is like the second string tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Stanley's a tight end. I'm thinking Slay Dog at tight. Slay Dog at running back. Give Slay the ball.
No.
Buck ain't going to do nothing but take a knee, man. He don't want to get hit. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, Buck is a decoy. He was going to play action him the whole time.
He's a decoy. Who's going to go with him?
Nobody. Exactly.
Just out there on the edge.
So you want to play right guard?
Nah.
Switch with Zach?
Nah. I'll leave him right
Zach
there.
needs to be on the sideline.
Yeah, these analytic guys need to be the coaches and the coordinators. Well, Coach Matt can be the coach, but the analytics guys need to be the offense coordinator, defense coordinator. I like the attempt. I like being a long snapper.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, more 3HL next. If you want in, 615-737-1045. KC at Shelby Park wants to talk Tennessee basketball. We can do that next. 3HL.
All right, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Pella is celebrating 100 years in business this year. What does that mean for you? Well, that means that you know it's a company you can trust. You know it's a company that does things right. And there's no way in the world they'd be around for 100 years if they didn't. Lifetime warranties on all of their windows and doors. And on top of that, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville also backs their work up with warranty and offers a 10-year labor warranty, which is leading in the industry. They have the staff in place to support you, the customer. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville are the best. I've used them and actually are just adding another new door to the house. Also, they want to give you a deal. The Dawn deal is what we call it. We change it every month. And this month, couple days left, 55% off qualifying installations and no interest if paid in full within 12 months. No promo payments due, plus an additional $250 off of your order. This one's the best one yet. New doors, new windows, you need them. Now's a great time. Schedule a free consultation online. Just go to PellaNashville.com.
What is happening, y'all? I'm talking to all the parents out there. You need to get your kids involved. What? Involved in what? You probably asking. Well, it's coming to hooping. You need to get to Vertical Gyms. That's the place to sharpen your skills and grow your game and rise above the rim. 2328 Jackson Downs Boulevard. That is the location. Now, this is what you got to understand. They got a grand opening coming May 3rd. When is May 3rd, people? That's Saturday, 9 a.m., ribbon cutting. I'll be in the building. 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. The celebration will feature gym tours, on-court skill demos, live training sessions, music, food, giveaways, and so much more. Premier shooting clinic for the grand opening weekend with Coach Mike Dunn on Sunday, May 4th. But come on out and you can figure out even more. Comprehensive approach to athlete development. It's dedicated hub for basketball performance, skill development, and year-round training. So if you're looking to get in the game or get somebody to get you in the game, especially kids, get the Vertical Gyms and rise above the rim.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Who had this Titans media starting lineup for the Titans?
At the 420 Titan on X.
Babsy and Kayla are edge rushers. Slay Dog is the defensive coordinator. I'm a long snapper. Zeph, you need to be on this list, too. I need to.
I'm on the staff.
Austin Stanley is a tight end.
I'm on Slay's defensive staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the corner.
Zach Lyons is right guard.
DB coach.
I'm the quarterback's coach.
Blaine
DB
Bishop
coach.
is a safety.
DBs.
Oh, all DBs.
Ramon Foster is left guard next to left tackle Taylor Lewan.
That's going to be a great time. They're going to play around.
Who else we need to throw? Will Bowling is defensive end.
Yeah, he is.
Nephew Sally says Will's not fast. He's a distance runner. Hey, don't let those distance runners fool you, man. The minute you call them slow is the minute they run right by you.
Hey, I will say that my my DB's room, Justin Graver and Justin Mello, they like to watch some tape.
Yeah.
So they're
The
going
Justins will break it down.
They're going to be well prepared over there facing whatever wide receivers they go up against.
Tony says Burt should be center.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. He's making all the line calls in a very comedic way. He'll try to crack everybody on the defense up so they're laughing at the snap of the ball.
He know what to do. Definitely knows what to do.
Nephew Sally says Buck at running back. The only thing Buck is running is his mouth.
It's true.
This is what I'm saying. Buck wants no part of any of this. I guarantee you. So don't put him at running back, y'all.
Right.
He's going to take a knee. You hand him the ball, he'll take a knee.
Get him out of there.
Who's going to cover this team, media-wise? They're all on the field. They're going to write their own stories about how they played?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You said Tony's on line 3. Tony is in Texas. Tony, what up?
What's up, y'all? 3HL, miss y'all.
Good to hear from you, brother.
What up, Tony?
Yes, sir. No, I'm about to drive into a big old storm that we're getting here, so it should be fun. But yeah, no, I kind of want to elaborate on like what I was talking about, like that media.
Wait, Tony. Slay started looking out the window. Like, no, Texas.
I'm
He's
like,
in
wait
Texas.
a minute, Tony.
Oh man, the guy just like. Anyway,
that one's fun.
wanted to elaborate. So yeah, so I the reason why I said Bird would be a good center is because I think I get like that Ben Jones vibe. Like he's got that camaraderie, but like that nitty grittiness to him.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Bird could really lead that O line.
I get that. Yep.
I don't know why Ramon Foster's on left guard. He should be the right tackle across from Taylor Watt, left tackle. And then, and I feel like Lucas, because he's got like that soccer background. Like I feel like the running back position would be best for him to kind of make that maneuvers and stuff.
Yeah, he's shifty. You're right. Good point.
So, but I need to see that whole list so I can make my own because I also need to see the stats, the heights, weights. Like you got to play it out.
None of that's important, man. We're all bigger than we used to be. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, I'm right there with you. That's why at 32, I'm already just walking.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it, man. 615-737-1045. Bucket running back. That's the one that gets me. Nephew Selly has a good idea. DHB, same thing. Reese and Laura doing the play-by-play.
Oh, man. Imagine them up on the booth at Titans Radio.
Yes, and Jake from Brentwood be on the sideline report.
Oh, my God.
Could we do? Oh, my gosh.
I would pay to listen to that.
Some of these high school alumni games, y'all, we need to broadcast them and put them on the zone and let Reese and Laura, like, I'll sit there. You can sit there too, and just let them do the game.
That'll be excellent.
With Jake from Brentwood on the sideline.
That'd be excellent.
I think we'd have to have someone in here next to the dump button because by the fourth quarter, they're going to be like 18 beers deep.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Right. So maybe we put it on a podcast or something.
Yeah. We'll stream it only.
Stream it.
That'll be good.
Like football and other F words. I turned that on Saturday. The first thing I heard was F word. I was like, damn, these guys are going.
They tell you in the name.
You are right about this, though.
That's definitely true. No false advertising with those guys. Rich is in the borough next up on 3HL. Rich, what you got, man?
What's up, fellas? Old school listener, first time caller, man. I feel like I know all you guys. What's up?
What up, Rich?
We're here, man.
Oh, love it, man. Hey, I got to ask y'all a question. Houston, tell me one of you guys had one of the pork chops that they served.
Heck yeah, most definitely. Golly. It was like a little glaze they used to put on it too, man.
Who are you talking about?
At least an inch thick.
Yeah,
at least an inch
super
thick, man.
thick.
I'm not a huge pork chop guy, but
Pork
that
chops
thing
in
was
Houston.
unbelievable.
Houston, yeah.
And then get your belly full and walk across the street for a margarita.
At Rio Bravo?
100%, man.
Yep.
I can bore you guys to tears with West End stories, but love you guys. Love the show.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Rich. Yeah,
I used to love their Cobb salads. Cause boy, they used to put their croutons with like real like
I don't remember
sweet
it in detail
cornbread.
like that.
I do. Shoot, woo.
I do
Put that
remember
ranch
the
on that bad boy.
The margaritas at Rio Bravo. Plus the ports thing. That was a whole social thing. Like, I was just thinking about. So remember down in Bellmead, if you go down, West End turns into Highway 100, and then
Highway 100 split.
Yeah, but before you get to all that, the Bellmead Theater used to be down there, and then before that, there was a restaurant called Pargo's that used to be down there, and that's not as like Nashville famous or widely known. But I used to live down in that area, so we would go there. It was really good too.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Dalt's in Lion's Head, which I tell people Lion's Head now, and they're like, it's not called that. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, so then I was there, I don't know, a few months ago, and then sure enough, I didn't see anything Lion's Head.
Man, what's the name of the
But there was a movie theater in
burger
Lion's Head
spot
too.
that used to be over there. You just make your own burger.
Oh crap!
It was there
on down White Bridge Road.
No. This was
because Woodmont turns into White Bridge.
It wasn't Cheeseburger Charlie's.
It might have been.
It might have been one.
Yeah, because Charlie's was there, and I think they just got rid of that.
Yeah. Man, there was some. That's sports season still. hanging on.
Calhoun's was in Lion's Head.
Calhoun's was over there. Sure was. Yep. Sports season's the only thing hanging on over there.
Sports season's still there?
Yep. Still over there. Still
Rainbow Key was the bar.
Yep. I remember that. Didn't go, but remember that.
You were too young.
Yeah.
It was gone before you were, well, I was going to say drinking, but.
I mean, who knows?
Of age.
Yeah, who knows?
615-737.
Fuddruckers was phenomenal.
Fuddruckers was phenomenal in West End. Gator Mike, what's up?
Hey, oh yeah, Brent, no doubt. Pargo's was a jam. Dalt's, though, is not as good as it used to be. I used to go there with my mom when she had her appointment for St. Thomas West.
See, I was trying not to say that, but I'm not going to argue that point. I'm not going to push back.
At least they aren't a sponsor on the station either, so we can talk about them. Slade, was it Fuddruckers you're thinking of?
No, but Fuddruckers is another one. That was
on West End.
Yeah,
that was on West End.
I totally forgot about Cheeseburger Charlie's too. Y'all said that.
Cheeseburger Charlie's.
What about Caesar's was over there?
Caesar's was over there,
Italian
yes.
pizza place, yes.
It was
great.
next to Rainbow Key.
Yeah, correct. Real quickly, also that O'Charlie's is Chewy's now.
Dang, they said Will from the Ville says sports seasons are gone now. Last year.
Sports seasons is gone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
sports seasons is gone. Because what's funny, they were one of the few local retailers that would carry Florida Gator stuff. So yeah. Real quickly, Slay, what about? Did you see the thing I sent you about 3 Gators possibly going in the draft? I don't think about Condon. I think Condon needs to come back for another year. What do you think?
Alex Condon?
Yeah,
I think he should. Yeah, I think
he put his name out there.
It's just test. A lot of that is just going to be testing the waters to see where you. Yeah. Come on back.
Yeah, so they had Clayton, Condon, and then Elijah Martin. Those were the 3 that they were projecting to go. But I need Condon to come back. That way we have the best front court in the country, probably.
Yeah, y'all will be definitely strong. Sam Alexis is gone. Thomas Houck be back. Yeah, y'all could be right there.
Yeah, Golden said the other day he wants to move Hall out to the 3.
Yeah, that's what
I love it how you've already moved on, man.
Yeah. Rick Barnes was saying the same thing about Cade Phillips.
Don't celebrate anything over there.
No doubt. Well, anyway, it's great to talk to y'all. Yeah, Brett, thanks for bringing up of course, we got Trader Joe's over there. Can't go wrong.
There you go, Gator Mike. Thank you. Casey in Shelby Park. KC, what's up?
Hey, I waited a while, fellas. It's a beautiful day. Slay was smoozing it up with Rick Barnes yesterday. Maybe he got some intel. You get a little intel from Barnes, Slay?
On what? What I get some intel on?
Well, the one thing you came away with thinking that Barnes likes his roster.
Yeah,
didn't you?
That's for sure.
His body language and tenor of his voice was,
Well, this is what I got. So he didn't seem to be too bothered about Rod Clark moving on. Slay, are you moving in? Are you moving as assistant coach slash color commentator? Is this a slick move by you, brother? I've been watching your rise here. Where we going with it?
Hey, man, you paying attention too close. That's all.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you what. You can do it. Color commentator and assistant coaches, we could bring, man, we could bring every recruit in there. But
I love it.
Is Rodney Terry a candidate, Slay?
Hey, man. That was one of the ones that came to mind. I was talking to a source. That ain't a bad. Rick loves to recycle his guys, especially the ones that have been loyal. So that's a good one.
Well, okay, just real quick, because I know you guys are pressed.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the new signees. I can't mention the guy's name, and a little bit of missing out on Rodney Rice, and I'll hang up and listen.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about that tomorrow. And we could do a detailed look at where Tennessee is roster-wise and talk about some college basketball. Thank you, Casey. We are up against the break because the next group is going to tear our heads off if we don't get out of here.
Yeah, we would.
Who's up next?
It's us for the 3HL after party.
We'll do that too. Us versus us.
Oh,
Shout out to Gil, man. Pargo's was owned by Shoney's.
Is that true? I didn't know that. Thank you, Gil. That's awesome. I love that place. They talk about salads. They had great salads there too, and they had these honey butter
biscuits,
croissant type things. Yeah. Back at it tomorrow. Friday edition means what tomorrow?
Get Friday.
We appreciate you guys. We certainly appreciate Cosell for hanging out for 2 hours in here talking about all kinds of NFL things. Again, 1045thezone.com. Check and see if they've got tickets if you want to go to the live taping of the install tomorrow with Cosell and Buck Rising and Brian Callahan. Love y'all. Appreciate you being with us. Really thank you for including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take it for granted, nor do we take it lightly. Good night. God bless. See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you were getting a shout-out to the one and only legendary, rest in peace, Dick Barnett, man. TSU's own Dick Barnett. Trailblazer.